Is your mic unmuted?
Yes, ma'am, it is unmuted and we are ready to rumble.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back to the Independent and Stable Podcast. This week is an exciting week.
Yes, it is. We will be having another guest.
Our second ever guest.
Yes, we are very excited. We definitely don't want to turn into like an only guest podcast,
No.
but I do think it adds like a fun little element.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just think it's cool.
It's also good networking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you got to meet my two friends from the more ag world, and I think they're great. I freaking love Noah and Tyler. But then I wanted to do an episode where I kind of get to be more in Julie's world.
Yeah.
Because this is somebody that Julie was a big fan of, and then I found out that she followed me, so I was like, oh shit, do you want me to see if she'll come on our
Lindsay
podcast?
was getting her tattoo, her last tattoo that she was doing. She was getting her tattoo. I was like, MrsKickstand follows you, and I'm gonna need you to follow her back, message her, and ask her if she'll be on the podcast. Because I was so excited. I love her so much.
I really do like to keep up with that kind of like. I have such a very like boring and mundane life when it comes to like just day to day. Like I love my life. I love my cattle, and I love that I don't deal with a lot of drama. Like don't get me wrong, but sometimes it's fun to like.
Reality TV is a nice escape.
Yes, and
especially when you're not a person that deals with a lot of drama.
Yeah, so like for me personally, stuff that I do is like YouTube. Like I watch a lot of Spill Sesh and Smoky Glow, which I think are two great channels if you want to like. They give you the tea, but in a more commentary form, like
it's non-biased.
Well, and even when it is biased, though, I think that they're just two very educated women, and like they come at it from very good standpoints. So like if you're ever looking for people, because like. Smoky Glows is almost more of like a documentary type. Like she really lays it out and she like takes notes and she's just very good at it. And then Spill Sesh is a little bit more of the attention, like she does a little bit of more of the like attention grabbing shorter videos, but still she gives you all the info in a nice way. And it's just kind of interesting, you know, sometimes I'll be scrolling at night and I'll just be like, you know what's that motherfucker up to? A lot of Trisha Paytas on Spill Sesh because when is Trisha Paytas not doing something?
But MrsKickstand Lindsay.
Yes.
So you'll see that clip in a second.
Yeah.
But if you don't know, she originally came with my For You page. I made a TikTok probably, it was fresh panorama.
Mm-hmm.
I mean.
That's when you were really in the TikTok game because you were off work.
Right. So it was after that, I remember I made a TikTok and I was like, I am stuck on Duggar talk. I do not know why. I don't know how I got here.
Yeah.
But I'm here, and I'm here for it because I grew up on fucking 19 Kids and Counting.
Dude,
I was naming all those sons of bitches in order.
I could, because like
So,
I watch TLC and Animal Planet more than anything else as a like adolescent, like preteen, and I'd watch it and be like, yeah, this is normal. And then when I grew up, I'm like, that's fucking shit.
Cult. It was a cult. But and Lindsay was one of the people that popped up, and I was like, I fucking like this girl because she's very funny, she's very blunt, and yes.
Yeah.
And then I realized that she did Sister Wives stuff too. And I like the drama and all the shit that goes on with the Sister Wives, but it pains me to have to sit down and watch a full episode.
Mm-hmm.
And that's nice with her TikToks, kind of what you were saying about Spill Sesh. It's more of like a short video.
Yeah.
And the TikToks are nice because
they're very short.
It's the
maximum
3 minutes. And she gives me everything I need to know.
Yeah, exactly.
Her lives, oh my god, TLC has done this like Sister Wives special or whatever because they're all starting to fucking jump ship. They're like, fuck this guy, I'm out. So, TLC's been doing like these specials, and she pays. There's one streaming service where you can get them early, and she paid for it, and she fucking TikTok live the whole thing.
I love that.
And it was just her. It was just the TV, and it was her commentary in the background, and I fucking love her commentary. The Josh Duggar bullshit. She was on top of that shit. She was my point of everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Every time something came up on my Apple News, I was like, I gotta go see if Lindsay posted about it. Or like, every time Lindsay would post about it, I'd be like, oh, I gotta go read the report now. It was great.
Well, see, it's very, like I said, I used to watch the Duggars, and it's so crazy because like I thought they were a wholesome, like just good old fam. Like I just thought it was crazy that they had that many kids. Children. Exactly. And then, you know, you grow up and you realize, oh my God. And the Josh Duggar case, like when all that first broke, I remember it really fucked with me because like anything involving kids just like really breaks my heart. Especially just like thinking about like the grooming and everything, like which trigger warning, sorry I didn't say it before that. And so like, I don't know, like I genuinely get like the heebie-jeebies when I hear cases like that. So like, I I'm intrigued by it because I want justice for not only his sisters, but hopefully in case that anything with his wife and his current children. But like, I also just hate hearing about it because, like I said, when it involves like, and kids are just so innocent.
Yeah.
And like, I could literally cry thinking about like, I mean, I had a full fucking meltdown on Thanksgiving.
You're very much an empath who probably should not be as involved with these childcare cases.
No, I really shouldn't. It's like gonna be so rewarding, but so hard for me to be a foster parent.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so hard.
But like when the Josh Duggar shit took off, that was best of both worlds for me. It was true crime and reality.
Yeah,
TV.
exactly.
And when I tell you, Lindsay was on top of that shit, she was on top of that shit.
Well, listen, when you have a niche on TikTok, when you find like what it is that works for you, you have to make sure that you are on it. Like, because I mean, if I go too many days without checking out Hoochie's, who's having a baby?
Yep.
If I go too many days without showing Oswald, they think he just disappeared.
Well, and it was funny because we tried to get Lindsay on last week, and then I told Lacey, because she hadn't replied to Lacey's message, and I was like, listen, Sister Wives drama is blowing the fuck up right now. Her whole life has been consumed, because I mean, she was live
and that's what she
day.
told me. She literally messaged, which like, I should have honestly reached out to her on Instagram because TikTok is such a weird place to DM.
Right.
Because like
it doesn't filter them either.
It's just so that's honestly more on me for not just going, because anybody else who I normally try to talk to, I usually try to go to their Instagram because I know that that's a better platform to DM.
But you can also prioritize your Instagram DMs.
Exactly, primary and then just
your general.
Yeah. So, but she's been really great to message back. She was very kind when I was going through my stuff. She was very supportive. As soon as I followed her back, she sent me messages that were very sweet about my girls. So I was like, I don't know your content as much, so I'm going to take the back seat for this,
Oh, I was so ready.
I know you're ready, and I'm just literally going to be sitting there like a little sponge and absorbing
this is the fucked up part, right? So Lacey posted that video of Reba and Marbles dying, right?
Yeah.
And I was going through the comments because it had a lot of comments on it.
Yeah.
And the first one that popped up, because I'm following Lindsay, was Lindsay's comment. And I was like, oh my god, she knows who Lacey is. It was very selfish of me. Like, I was like, oh my god, she knows who Lacey is. You could get her on the podcast. Like, and then I go to the next video that Lacey posted, and she's the top again. I'm like, oh my god, she's like a fan of Lacey. Like, we can make this happen. So then Lacey was getting her tattoo the day after this whole debacle happened. And I'm like, Lacey, MrsKickstand follows you. I'm gonna need you to follow her back.
It's all like, say less.
She's like, all right, cool. But no, very exciting.
And I don't want that to seem like I don't like Lindsay at all because I started watching her content. She started popping up, and I do enjoy that kind of stuff for sure. But I'm excited. Like I said, I really wanted it to be more even because I think a lot of people would assume that like my podcast would be all cow related and like we would only talk about
that. But that was a goal when we started this, is to have it be a separate entity, be able to have something else to branch off of.
Because I am more than just my cows.
Right.
As a human, and that's why my YouTube channel and this has a little bit of everything. My TikTok is primarily cows because I do understand that that's what a lot of people like, and I'm totally down. My Instagram is a lot of cows because I'm not gonna just take a bunch of selfies.
Right.
And I like to take really good pictures of my gorgeous girls, but I like to also, sit here and talk with my best friend about random shit.
But yeah, really excited.
I know.
I'm really fun.
We're actually, little spoiler, we're filming the intro before we have because last time when we had Tyler and Noah on, we filmed the interview first and then we filmed the intro and outro.
Which is probably how we should do it. But then it's like a nice surprise for us.
Yeah, because genuinely we don't know.
We don't know what's going on.
Yeah, but we're excited nonetheless.
But it'll be here.
But we had to, we honestly, you can probably hear the meteor shower that's going on. It's because the ice in Ohio is finally melting. So, I'm sorry if the mics are catching. I'm sure.
I thought I got shot pulling in here. Not to your driveway, but, at the four-way stop.
Yeah.
There's that big fucking evergreen tree or whatever at that house. And it had no ice on it. So I was like, okay, I'm fine. Because I'm not going to lie, I was going to do a California roll, right? Just slide on through because I didn't want that shit falling on me. But there was no ice. I was like, all right, fine. I fucking stopped, and I shit you not, I ducked because I thought I had been shot. Because I thought a whole branch fell on my car.
Yeah.
I thought I'd been shot.
It's terrifying.
I've been stung by a wasp. I was scared.
Our barn roof is like this.
Yeah.
It's scary, steep. And so yesterday I had to run in and out of the barn opening because it was all freaking coming down. But you can probably hear it going on. So just letting you know. Audio listeners only, probably not. I think our mics probably wouldn't pick it up.
Yeah.
But visual, anybody on YouTube, you might hear it. So sorry about that.
It's
But that was another reason why we're kind of pre-filming, is because we realized we need to have an emergency, like a couple emergency episodes.
Yeah, because the last episode was filmed at my house, not really by choice, more like necessity, because there was just no other time to
Well, because Julie edited and uploaded it on Sunday, and we filmed Saturday because there was the ice storm, and like I didn't want to make Julie come out here because it's primarily back roads, and I didn't leave the house until Saturday either.
Right.
Like I stayed cooped up in my house with my parents, and then Julie sent me a freaking.
So we're filming the intro and outro for this episode, and we'll probably film 1 or 2 more episodes.
Yeah, so if you see us in the same outfits, mind your business.
Fucking business.
Mind your business. We're trying to be, good about pre-filming a little bit because, we're busy bitches. Julie's a freaking hairdresser and a mom.
Yeah.
I've got cows and all kinds of crazy shit. So she was like, I have an aggressively large, blank spot in my book tomorrow.
Yeah, I had a fucking hole in my book from noon to 5. I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? I literally told the girls at work today, I was like, after my client, I'm going to Lacey's house. And they're like, why? And I was like, I want to spend my day with you bitches. And I fucking left.
I love that.
Fuck you whores.
I'd rather go film podcasts with Lacey in our studio.
Really, put up with Lacey's ass.
Yeah. We do have our studio back though.
Yeah.
Our nice studio.
Yeah.
The lovely fireplace. Fireplace? Mm-hmm.
That was really good, Lacey.
Thank you.
Fireplace.
Very cute. Very festive.
No, the reason I asked Lacey if her mic was unmuted is because week before last, we were doing ASMR, and Lacey muted her mic for the entire last half of the podcast.
Yeah.
And then, Saturday.
Yeah, when we filmed.
At my house.
I had it muted for like the first 2 minutes.
She had her microphone turned towards me, like the red light, like you can see the red light if you're watching. And when it flashes, it means it's muted. And she was like, she went on her little, this little monologue for 15 minutes. And I was like, hey, your mic's muted.
It was not 15 minutes. It was 3.
It was close to 5.
Okay, maybe 5.
Whatever. You know what I mean.
I'll just keep my light constantly turned towards you.
But what's funny is how much shit that you and Caleb gave me, because I couldn't remember if flashing or if solid meant that it was muted.
Yeah, because it took a lot of reinforcement.
Well, you should have given me an M&M every time I got it right.
And then your mouth starts salivating.
And then my mouth will start salivating when I talk about muting a mic.
Yep.
I just think it's funny that I didn't know which is which, and now you have muted your mic in the podcast twice now.
Mm-hmm. Listen, nobody's perfect.
You live and you learn it.
Again and again.
Till you make it right.
I know that song.
Of course you do.
Listen.
Why wouldn't you?
Speaking of nostalgic shows, not only was I just watching Twilight before we started filming, because it was on.
I did that not that long ago.
Listen, it's god-awful acting, but I don't know if it's
you can't watch it.
Because it's nostalgic. I remember reading these books when I was 11 and 12 and being Team Jacob and being like, oh my god, So even though the acting is just dog shit, I have to watch it when it's on.
Also, I used to be Team Jacob all the way.
Yeah.
And then watching it as an adult, I'm like, oh, Edward had a farm though.
Yeah.
Edward do be looking juicy.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's just as a kid, I don't know. But also I think wolves are cool, so I was always just like, date a wolf.
He was a nerd.
Yeah.
Still is.
I have a wolf tattoo now. Be like, honey, look. Tattoo.
The acting was really bad, and every time I think that every time I watch something that I used Degrassi, I'm like, the acting fucking sucks so bad, but I can't stop.
Dude, but what I was gonna say
when we watched High School Musical not that long ago and Camp Rock.
Yeah.
We rewatched the first Camp Rock just to watch Joe Jonas do the tongue thing at Final Jam. I have a Jonas Brothers shirt on today under here, but you can't see it.
I love that. But when the finale of Hannah Montana aired, I cried.
Oh yeah.
Because I loved that show.
When she took her wig off and then set it down and then left?
Yeah.
When she turned her lights off in her fucking cool ass closet?
Dude, I wanted that closet.
Totally
so
unattainable closet.
Totally unattainable. The whole thing.
I cried.
But that closet was so dope.
It was dope. It was the dopest.
Oh my god. So cool. Wanted that closet so bad as a child.
A little revolving shit.
Fuck me up with that.
So cool.
I think that's where my love for organization came, because I was just like, wow, look at that. Yep.
Maybe that's where the love for being a two-faced bitch came from a lot of people from our generation.
Shit.
Yeah.
Those Geminis.
Yeah.
Fuck
ooh, ooh. Watch Lindsay be a Gemini.
That's
gonna be the first question. Hey, we need to know what to edit out of the intro clip.
Are you
what's your sign? A Gemini? Oh, that's really cool.
That's actually super cool. telescope, so I'm not like coming through.
Jeezy's a Gemini.
I only say that because their sign is the whole Two-Face thing.
Jeezy's a Gemini.
I know. Your future
I
ex-husband.
love both his faces.
I know. You really love
Split
it.
right down the middle like the two of me.
There you go. Ice is coming down.
Yeah, it's really doing the damn thing.
It's terrifying a little bit.
Yeah.
Like when you walk outside and you like walk under a tree or something, you're just like, is this the end?
Mm.
I had to get
It could be.
I had to get all
Fucking branch fall on you. Dead.
We had branches down everywhere. My dad was so pissed. It was so funny though because my mom, we're literally sitting there and like my room is right next to the tree over here. So like I heard every branch snap when it came down. Mm-hmm. So like I'm just like, okay, of course my parents can hear this. So then I finally came downstairs. I'm like, hey, like you guys know that like this tree's mangled, right? And mom's like, no. So she looked out her bedroom window. She's like, what the fuck? And blah, blah, blah. And so then...
Getting mad as if there was something you could do about it.
Because that's my mom. She has the freaking... I mean, her fuse is this fucking long. And so then it's like later at night and then there was branches starting to come down on this tree. And obviously this whole room was now in danger. And so like it's 9 p.m. during an ice storm and my mom keeps telling my dad, go do the man shit. So then me and my dad literally just put on shoes and stand outside and he's like, what the fuck does she want me to do? Pull these down by my hands?
Cut down the fucking tree. Like, do it right now.
So our man shit was just me and dad standing out there looking at going, yep.
Dude, speaking of fucking ice coming off the roof of your barn, the ice just came off your dad's shed. It was literally like a huge fucking sheet.
Sick.
That'd kill you.
That'd kill you.
I'd probably put you in
That's an avalanche right there.
Alright, well.
I hope you enjoy.
I hope we all enjoy what Lindsay has to say.
Exactly. I'm sure it's going to be fantastic, but
sure
you guys will know for sure. I can't wait for us to try to bullshit a fucking outro.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about that.
I think maybe we should film it after, maybe.
Nah.
No?
Nah.
Just full
fucking
segment.
wing it. Fucking wing it, dude.
Alright, well, there's going to be an interview with Lindsay, MrsKickstand, and then you will get to see us bullshit an outro before even having the interview.
We'll see how that goes. Maybe we should have pretended like we already
No, just let them know. We ain't no two-faced bitches around here.
I mean, you're two-faced.
We don't lie. We're transparent.
Only lying.
We're as transparent as our skin color.
No cap.
Yeah, like our skin tone is
You
transparent.
can see all my veins today because it's cold outside.
Rude.
This is my big guy.
Yeah, I got some blue
Bruce.
rose over here.
Hello, Bruce.
Yeah, we're as transparent as this.
We should send Lindsay this before she does the interview. Are you sure you want to do this?
Have you listened to our podcast?
Do you know what we're getting into?
Are you sure about this, friend?
All right, well, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Me every day getting up contemplating my life choices, like, do I really need to pay my electric bill this month or is it good?
No, fuck no. Fuck the lights.
So, I guess I can give you more of a formal introduction since we don't, I mean, you know me and I know you now because we've talked, but This is my best friend / co-host, Julie.
Hello.
Hi.
She is the reason we're all together here.
Yep. Listen,
Yes.
after Lacey's cows died, I went through her comments of that video to make sure no one was being mean to my bestie, And at the top, it was your comment. And so the next day, Lacey was getting a tattoo, and I was like, Lacey, MrsKickstand follows you. She's also feeling very sympathetic right now for you. So I'm going to need you to DM her. Ask her.
I know. Lacey, when Lacey followed me back, I was like, me? The queen of cows? I was like, what? 'Cause to be honest, like, and this is like a fangirl moment for me. When I joined TikTok, you were the first account I followed.
Really?
Because you were on my For You page.
That's crazy.
We might have to get rid of Josh's
Yeah,
mugshots.
I think
it's upsetting.
I know, but it's making us go in and out.
I'm fine. You're
sorry.
the problem.
I'm always the problem.
You're the drama.
Me? Am I the drama?
Always.
But yeah, no, because literally I was laying there getting my tattoo and like obviously I was scared of, negative comments because I had to bring some heavy information and I did not expect that video to do as well as it did. Like that was not a video I wanted to go viral.
At your lowest point is where people are like, yes.
Yeah. And so I didn't know she was doing it, but Julie was going through and seeing if like people were being mean. And because I just wasn't checking after a certain moment. And she's like, MrsKickstand follows you. And I was like, Julie.
She was getting a tattoo and I was like, you have to follow her back. We need her on the podcast.
And I was like, okay. But then she's like, she's the person I go to for all the information because Julie will tell me because like I don't get a lot of like the information just because like go ahead and trigger warning for the whole podcast because this part's being recorded so people know we might talk about some heavy shit, so like fair warning. But like
100%.
yeah, but like when
Good
the
chance.
stuff first came out about Josh Duggar, I know that like my heart just sunk because like just hearing like anything with kids especially just like really hits me in my like heart too heavy because I just can't fathom doing that. And like
Right.
then it was crazy because we talk about it because our dumbasses filmed the intro and outro of this podcast before even talking to you because we needed to get things done. So literally our outro is, yeah, our favorite part was when we talked about that one thing, you know?
And then we talked about the other one thing.
But literally I watched 19 Kids and Counting as a kid, like religiously. Like that was my shit. Like I was 12 years old naming all of these motherfuckers. And then as I grew up, I'm like, that was a goddamn cult.
Very much so. Nothing short of it.
I shamelessly have seen every episode, including specials, including like the first special they came out with on like the Discovery Health channel in like 2006. Like it's sad. Like, and I get those comments all the time, like, don't you have a job and don't you have a life? It's like, yeah, I'm a full-time everything, but like the fact is I know what I'm talking about here.
Right, exactly. You have to have the information ready.
It's shamefully addictive though. Sorry, I need to get
Well, it really is. It's disgustingly addictive. No.
Yeah. And that's why, because I am somebody who like I live a pretty mundane life. Like I don't have a lot of drama. Like it's just me, my cows, and my business, and like that's it. Like I don't have drama. I'm 25, but I am a sucker for like some like reality television TV. Or stuff. So usually what I go to is like, you know, I'll do some like catch up and stuff. So that's why I've really enjoyed your content because I'm like, yes, give me all the tea, but quick. And so I don't have to sit and watch all.
Listen, as soon as all that shit was coming out about the Josh shit, I was like, I have to go to MrsKickstand because she's gonna have everything before I get it on my news app. I just know she is. Every time.
This is literally in Vegas, drunk as fuck, screenshotting shit and uploading it, praying that it was coming out at the same like incoherence, like this is this part and this is this part. And I was like, did I hit all of them? I think I did. So I would like sit there like this and like, yeah, I think I did it. And then I would just put my phone away. But it's like every 20 minutes while the trial was going on, it's like there was new info coming out because they were delayed due to breaks. So it was like, I felt bad because I went to Vegas with like one of my best friends and I was like, I'm sorry, but there's a major case going on and I have to report
shit is happening. I have to
shit going on right
now. Yeah, no. You and Carrie literally were my only news outlet for that whole thing.
I love Carrie to death. I love her. And it's kind of nice because she brings in like, because I'm not a professional, nor am I a lawyer, right? Like I'm just some 31-year-old on TikTok. But like whenever I have a question about anything, I always go to her. And then everyone was tagging me in her comments. And finally she's like, yo, we've been following each other forever. Like I'm sure she's going to see it.
Right. It's inevitable.
So great. It's nice to have the legal side of it though, because a lot of the stuff I'm like, I don't fucking know what that means. Like, let me Google it.
Right. No, it was nice because I could go back and forth. Like, okay, she's gonna give me all like the technical terms, and then Lindsay's gonna like break it down into something that I can understand.
Yeah, the video that I made when he was convicted, and I think it hit over 1 million views, and I was legitimately crying because I was covering it, and you get all this energy built up, and you're like, he has to go to jail. Like, there's no way it wasn't him. Yeah. He has to go to jail. And when they announced the verdict, I like literally saw the tweet because I follow like all the local Arkansas people now, like all the news anchors. And they're like, a verdict is in. And I like ran outside while I'm filming. I was like, I'll be back to my boss because she knows. And I was like, they got a verdict. I'm running outside, putting my coat on. It's like 10 degrees outside. And I'm like waiting like this.
That's funny.
You know, it's crazy. I mean, I thought he went to jail for tax evasion or fraudulent anything or money laundering. Yeah. I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Well, you would think such godly people, you would hope that it would be something not disturbing and just
something just a little bit illegal.
Yeah. Like something that like, you know, somebody else, you're like, okay, you know, we can live with that. But then it was that. And I was like, oh no,
this is embarrassing.
Yeah, and your entire family, and they're gonna try to talk about it.
Right.
You would think that you would have known right away, like I would have known right away, given his past, because it wasn't his first rodeo of being a pedophile. It really wasn't. Even though he was a child when he sexually assaulted 5 girls, he still knew what he was doing though. So you would think, and then all of that came out in 2015, and then the Ashley Madison scandal came out a month after the police reports were out. And then you think, okay, well, maybe like he's learned his fucking lesson, right? Like maybe he was just, trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, because at the end of the day, even though he's a piece of shit, he's still a human. So I'm like, maybe he learned his fucking lesson.
Most
he
certainly
did not learn his lesson.
Did not even close.
No. And then my favorite reports after were like, he's eating bread and margarine. It's like, it's fucking jail. What did you expect? They're gonna give him a 5-course meal.
He doesn't deserve to eat.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure he can be fine with bread and butter.
I'm pretty sure he would be fine with cardboard.
Yeah,
that's all
he deserves.
Yeah,
like leftover Amazon boxes.
Yeah, please only feed him Amazon boxes. Thank you, management. We need to recycle everything.
Right.
Exactly.
Listen, after what was it? It was right after quarantine, because like when they shut the whole world down, they told me that my job was not important. I'm a hairdresser, so they were like, "You don't get to work for 2 months." So I was like, "What do I do?"
Okay.
And then I got stuck on Duggar Talk, and it was you, and then her name's Brooks. Her name is not another
Duggar TikTok. I love Brooke. That's my girl. I love Brooke. Me and her are. At first, like we would see each other's content and we didn't follow each other. And then she started following me. And then for some reason, it was showing up on her end that I had her blocked when I didn't. Because when I saw the tag, I finally was able to see her profile. I was like, I didn't block you. No, I like your content. And ever since then, it's like, I talk to her probably once a week. I mean, she's going to school. So she's like super busy and hasn't been all over Duggar TikTok. Like I've been kind of in and out of it because Sister Wives has consumed my life recently, but love her, love Brooke.
Yep. But you guys literally got me. I was stuck on Duggar Talk for like 2 months. And there's like every video was like, okay, this is what this Duggar is doing. This is what this Duggar is doing, what this Duggar is doing. But it's okay. I like it. I'm a sucker for it.
And now it's like, if I don't post, if something comes up, if I don't post, everyone's like, are you gonna post about
I'm a
it?
news outlet now.
Yeah, that's the one bad thing about TikTok is once you have a niche, it's hard to expand to anything else. Like TikTok sees you as one thing. Like, so
right.
If you try to expand, they're like, hilarious.
Yep.
Give us that Duggar shit, bitch.
That's like today, yesterday, I'm working with Liquid IV and I posted a video and TikTok was like, post some Sister Wife shit because we don't want your brand.
When we tell you, this is the funniest thing because like I told you, we filmed 2 podcast episodes in a row on, was it Wednesday or Monday?
I think it was Monday.
And I was drinking a Liquid IV and I shit you not, I literally go, hey, Liquid IV, if you want to sponsor us, just let me know because I fucking love your shit. Like send me lemon lime. And then today I get here and Julie's like, so MrsKickstand just got a sponsorship with Liquid IV.
It's like she got herself a brand deal with Liquid IV.
And I was like, shit, I'm jealous.
30% off if you use my code. I'm just saying.
Make sure you send us your code. We'll put it in the bio.
Yeah.
MrsKickstand. It's so easy.
Got it.
Okay. So we're gonna now get to some questions for you.
Got some questions for you.
You better be ready.
Absolutely. I'm ready. I drank a McDonald's code.
We're not.
I'm just kidding.
She's making it sound really scary. It's not gonna be
we're
like
gonna get all the tea.
What's your social security number? I was just about to say that. Like, so what's your bank account number?
Okay. So the first thing we want to know is, where did you get your name? Where did the MrsKickstand come from?
So I get this a lot. So my husband is military and he's in a military motorcycle club and his road name is Kickstand. So when we got engaged, I started when I joined TikTok, it was like a couple months after we got engaged, because we got engaged in January 2020 and then the pandemic hit and that's when everyone downloaded TikTok. And I wasn't posting at that point, but I was like, oh, I need a username and I'm tired of using like my real name. So that's where Mrs. Kickstand came from. But a lot of people think it's Mrs. Strickland, which cracks me up because I'm like, either way.
People still think I'm Lacey Mevans. It's Lacey M. Evans. But it is what it is. I prefer Farmer Lacey, if anything, if they're gonna call me Lacey Mevans. I'll still go under that.
Where's Lacey Mevans at?
It's just really funny because people would like actually make it in videos. Like they would be like, oh, I follow this girl, her name's Lacey Mevans. And I'm like, no, it's Lacey.
You don't even know me.
I'm like, no, it's not. But
exactly.
What are you gonna do? I don't know that you have the questions, man.
Well, I was just waiting until you're done talking.
I'm done.
Sorry.
End scene.
Okay, so we know you got your sister wives and your Duggars, but like what are you outside of Duggar and sister wiveness?
Like, who am I as a person?
Like what do you like to do? What are like other interests that you have that you can't bring to TikTok because TikTok doesn't like that?
It's only a niche.
No.
This is the most awful question that interviewers ask you because you immediately become the most boring person ever.
Yeah,
I'm
it's okay. Like, boring too.
I play Candy Crush in the evenings while I watch Big Brother. Like, that's me.
Like, what do I do? Like, we go out on the motorcycle a lot. We travel a lot, especially on the motorcycle. I don't share any of that on TikTok. I guess you could classify that as a niche because not a lot of people are old ladies, which is what most clubs refer to their wives or girlfriends as. Mm-hmm. That might be a niche. I mean, I like to drink. Like, who doesn't? Especially, like, what do I do outside? Like, when I'm not at work, I got a new puppy. That's my new hobby. Is he's a mess. So because he's so little, oh God, what do I do? We bought a house, so like, I'm gonna try to be Bob Vila, I guess. Like,
oh my God,
I don't know. Like, I don't really know. Like, when I'm not at work, I'm TikToking. When I'm not TikToking, I research what I'm going to TikTok next. So it's like a wormhole. It's like a cycle that doesn't end until a show ends.
Oh yeah.
So I try.
I literally I hate, one of the biggest things I hate about being on dating apps is when they're like, so what do you do for fun? I'm like, dude, I don't fucking know. Like, I scroll on TikTok. Sometimes I travel, but like, let's all be honest, we're all poor. Like, we're not out here going to the Maldives. We're going to freaking maybe Nashville or Indianapolis for a weekend. Like,
right.
Like, it's just
like
Maldives.
It's so hard to classify what anybody does. Like, like, if I had to classify what I'm trying to do, like, I'm trying to be an adult, right? Like, I'm just trying to like get through every day without murdering someone or going to jail or getting a parking ticket, or like, I'm just trying to be like a good civilian citizen. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to.
Thing I'm gonna start saying is like, what do you do for fun? I'm just trying to be a human. Like, I'm just trying to.
Right. We're all trying. Like, we're still in a pandemic, but we were in the thick of a pandemic for 2 years.
Yeah, I think we all forgot how to human. And like, people act like you're gonna list hobbies like, oh, I'm really into crochet. Like, what? Like, what?
I do cross stitch in my free time.
Sometimes I actually really got into horseback riding a few years ago. Like, what the fuck do you think? Like, people act like there's these specific hobbies that you do, and then I'm like, on occasion I'll kayak, but I don't want that to be like my personality trait.
My favorite thing is to go through like people with larger followings comments, and people are like, oh, I bet you like to do this in your free time. I'm like, what about them makes you think that that's what they do in their free time?
I'm gonna start telling people like really obscure things, like, oh, I actually took up oboe and I've been playing
underwater basket weaving. That's what I do.
I started in a synchronized swimming club, and we're doing really
well.
Not matching swim caps.
Sometimes I go to the beach and build sandcastles because I can. Like, what? Like, what? I don't know what I do. Like, I go home, I play with my dogs, I film a TikTok or two, I post it, I scroll through the comments to make sure no one's being mean to me, and then like I try to go to bed at a decent time.
I know. I think that like life has made it seem like you have to have all these like glorified like hobbies and shit. But at the end of the day, I think as long as you're content, like, because like I said, I film content, I check cows and take care of cows all day. Sometimes I hang out with friends, but then I usually go to bed aggressively early, play Candy Crush and watch my shows and go to bed. Like, I'm really like, I'm lame. Like, I think
we used to be fun.
Yeah.
And then I got a kid and it made us not fun. Yeah. Like lesbians,
and now we're just like moms, and her husband's really just an add-on. He's there to have.
Well, I thought you got a kid. Like, you just got one. You're just like, yeah, I got a kid.
I'm a foster mom,
so she did actually.
I did actually
awesome. Get one. She literally.
I thought you meant like you birthed one. I was like, no, you got one. That's
she really did. It was like 2 weeks prior. She's like, I just don't know if I'm ever gonna get placed. And then she calls me and she's like, so I'm getting a 3-day-old tomorrow. I don't know what to do.
What do I do?
We need more people like you in the world for sure. That's amazing. Thanks. So she got a kid for sure then.
Yeah, I definitely just got one.
It straight up went 0 to this is a newborn. Here you go.
They shipped it.
Yes.
Same day.
Same day delivery.
Okay, so one thing that I find really funny about like your whole TikTok thing is the amount of backup accounts that I follow of yours. And the fact that your main what is it?
0 days since cloth ban or something.
TikTok incident. I think that's really funny. How many times have you been banned?
And why? Like, do you have an idea? Like, do they tell you what your strikes are? She's getting fired.
So every video, so I have my main account, I have a backup, and then I have a backup to the backup, because at one point in time, my main account and my backup account were banned at the same time. So I had to make a third account because it was in the middle of the end of trial, and I was scared that the video wasn't going to get put back up and take me out of that ban, and then no one would know what was going on. Like, I panicked and made a third account. All the videos that get taken down are Duggar videos. They claim I'm harassing and bullying them, when really I'm reading news articles. It's like, how?
Bob's in there.
I'm not showing up at their door and being like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? I'm just like reading a news article. They're like, harassment and bullying. And then a couple of them were minor safety, which, like, valid, like, fair. But, like, you don't see me beating up a kid or anything. Like, I'm literally reading an article or a Reddit page. And you're like, TikTok bans me. I'm on a streak right now. It's been over a month since I've been put in a ban. Tomorrow, 1 week, watch.
They'll know.
I literally could write a thesis on how annoyed I get with TikTok as a creator, because, like, I am so tired of seeing that same tattooed motherfucker sling his schlong in his gray fucking sweatpants, but I say the word coochie and I am taken down. I show a pile of cow poop and I am educating, and my videos are banned or they have sensitive content. But that motherfucker literally just posted a video like, after you shave your balls, and his dick is just like fucking hitting him in the face, and that's just allowed.
There's girls getting railed on lives, Lacey.
I got banned from lives because my cows were running too fast while I was on a live.
The Clock app is on some shit. Like, they took a video down. I read an article about IBLP they came out with. They took down not the first part of the article, not the second part of the article, not the third part of the fourth video that was like 38 seconds long. They're like, oh no, that's harassment and bullying. We're going to take this down. So I appealed it. Nope, content can't be restored. I'm like,
I had, do you know Drew Afalo, the one who like comes after men? Okay. I really like her content, genuinely do. Like, I follow her. I think she's fantastic. Love her shit. I posted a video kind of similar because a guy was like making fun. He was like, it was if you're over, like, girls say that plan B doesn't work if you're over 180, but if you're over 180, that's your plan B. And I just kind of was like, fuck this guy, basically. And mine was taken down for harassment and bullying, and I couldn't get it back. And I'm like, how can Drew continuously post where she's like, fuck you, man, fuck your ideas?
She finds her whole life.
She roast the shit out of them. Like, I'm not mad because I love her content, but I'm like, why her, not me? Like, where's the line? Like, the rules make no sense. And I love when they ban you, they're like, you're banned, and you're like, okay, well, like, what's wrong? You violated guidelines. Okay, which one? Guess. Okay, well, like, tell me specifically what I did wrong. No, but guess what? Do it again. No account.
Right. Well, and here's the thing, like, not to jinx myself again, but they've put me in so many bans that I'm surprised my account is still standing. Like, I really am, because they always say this one can result in permanent banning. It's like, for what? For what? Like, what am I seriously doing besides like reporting gossip articles? And I use the word reporting like very loosely because I'm just reading them so no one else has to. Like, there are people out here grifting and scamming people left, right, and center. If you're worried about what I'm doing, fuck off.
Yep. I always come back to my favorite one of James Charles being a literal pedophile and sex offender messaging little boys because he got their Snapchats off of Instagram, and he's allowed to have a multi-million-dollar platform. Yep. And they're just crazy. And like, why are they protective over Duggars? Like, TikTok, that's not very live, laugh, love of you to be protecting a fucking cult.
Because they're a fucking cult and they're scared of them.
Why?
That's why I've come to this realization that I think they have a bunch of stock accounts and they follow all of us, because when we report on certain things, you can tell they're trying to get it taken down, because it, like, on my end, that video won't do as well. So it's like, it's been reported. Like, you can tell, because when I was covering the trial, like, some videos were hitting like 30 plus K, and a couple would struggle for 3 hours. And it's because they're probably sitting there and reporting everything. It's like, it's all over the news. You can't stop it. I'm just taking it and putting it on a different platform. But I'm convinced that they have stock accounts. How could they not?
It makes sense. Well, it's like people were going to Jim Bob's political page and making all those comments, and as soon as they were getting like published, they were getting like taken back down. It's like they were sitting there watching.
I 100% am responsible for some of those comments because I posted mine, and then everyone went on there, and then they limited the comments. I was like, damn, they're working hard today.
They really are. Like their PR team had to kick it into fucking overdrive. They think that Kris
Jenner works hard. Try the Duggar team.
Kris Jenner's got nothing. Right? Duggar's PR people.
That's why I call them the Duggdashians.
Dugdashians. Yep.
Because
I really want to ask the question I came up with. Okay, we're gonna switch it over a little bit here with the sister wives. Okay, I want you to pick 3 extra celebrity husbands to add to your list of husbands,
of brother husbands.
How am I trying to fuck their life up? Hold on. Definitely Liam Hemsworth for sure.
Okay.
Like he just looks like. He looks like I could slap him around a little bit and I'd be okay with that.
Nice and brawny.
Yeah. And he's also just like, I would just stare at him for at least 3 hours a day.
Yeah. Like, I just feel like elevator eyes all day. Like this, you're mine. So just deal. Oh gosh, Liam Hemsworth for sure. I feel like I'm not going to use Channing Tatum because I feel like everyone says Channing Tatum. Like he's hot and stuff, but like, I feel like he's kind of a mess right now with everything.
You're sobbing Robin though.
Ooh,
yeah. A lot of emotional damage.
Yeah, he could. I'm like thinking real hard, like who?
It's a valid question.
I literally was.
It really is.
I want to know who's on her team. Who are you picking?
I don't know.
Definitely Liam Hemsworth. Definitely Jason Momoa. Because, nice. Like, hello, like yes. And then who? Liam, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to compare their personalities to the actual sister wives. Gosh, this is a hard question. Whose Instagram profile do I create the most? You know what? Honestly, I'm gonna throw Daniel Radcliffe in there. You gotta throw Harry Potter in there for sure.
I love that.
Because honestly, or Tom Felton. I feel like Tom Felton would be a good time. Like all 4, like those 4, because like he had 4 wives.
Yeah.
But they still call Christine wife number 3. So like I choose those 4. Like yes. That's two Harry Potter people and 2 really hot people.
That's fine.
To just stare at while you like make jokes with the Harry Potter ones.
A nice balance, right?
You need to have ones to laugh with, but also ones to just be like, God damn, you're fine.
Maybe I just want to watch a couple of them take the trash out. You know, like
at least you have a husband.
Yeah, sometimes. I feel like I've started my own cult in a way because like all these inside jokes, like at least I have a husband. What does the nanny do? Like I have created a problem.
Well, literally, I've already named this episode like literally Kotex in the trash can.
I saw that and I was like yes.
It's already been taken care of.
Everyone's gonna be like, that's
tell me what to wear and I'll do it. You want me to wear a denim skirt? I'll do it. I promise.
We should, oh my god, if we would have had more time, we should have dressed up like 2 of the Duggars.
Oh shit.
And everyone's like, where's your Duggar off? And I was like, I spend my hard-earned money on Bud Light seltzers, not denim skirts to the floor. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Or books on how to please your man.
Oh my god.
I still need to do that.
We actually text through a group chat where mom and dad are both in.
Stop it. Literally, when fuck.
I hate it so much.
They were Skyping with their parents in the room. That made me so uncomfortable.
I literally where she's like, hey, and you're like,
and Bob and Michelle are like right behind the screen.
Holding hands, right?
Yes.
Like, oh, this is so cute. It's like, no, this is so invasive.
It's a unified front. That doesn't make me near as uncomfortable. I will have to say that's one of my like top 3 most uncomfortable Duggar moments. When Jim Bob pulls Josh aside before he and Anna gets married and gives him the book. That's and then the side hug with him and Anna. Okay, 30 seconds.
No, that one is with Jessa and
it is Jessa and Ben.
Oh yeah.
He's more protective of the girls, obviously.
Yeah, because Josh used to touch him.
Yeah.
And he pulls his phone out. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah. Like, oh, hold on. yeah, this seems
timing.
right. Like, you remind me of a really shitty porno, okay? You're pulling your fucking phone out while you're filming him awkwardly asking your daughter to, like, hey, I want to court you, but in like 3 months we're gonna get engaged, which not for Jess and Ben, they had a really long courtship, but like that potentially they're asking to like marry your daughter, just like not officially yet.
And like,
And Jim Bob's like,
this is a good moment for the office wall.
yeah.
Right?
I wonder if like, because obviously like it just makes sense, because before when I was younger I'd be like, wow, that's like really fast, but like whatever, and now as an adult I'm like, they're probably trying to get the fuck out of that cult house. Like Ginger was like, I'm gonna wear pants, fuck y'all,
I'm gonna wear pants and shorts.
Yes, you know what, you can tell that the minute that someone was like interested in them, they were all about them. And like that sounds really shitty, but like when you're stuck in a house like that, where I mean, I will say the Duggars go out more than like the family from Welcome to Plathville, right? Like they would go out and travel. Her face. They would go out and travel. They would, you know, go to conferences. They would meet all these people. So like, yeah, they have a wide group of people that they see maybe once a year because there's a lot of them. Mm-hmm. But it's like every single one of them that courts somebody is like, yeah, they're a family friend of so-and-so years. And they're a family friend. It's like, where, what, how?
Where did they come
all
from?
Of a sudden they're like, we like each other. It's like,
well, where do you find them?
Where do you have to be as a parent to be like, I want my daughter to marry one of them?
Right.
I want my daughter to marry that one.
Like that one? That looks good.
Do you remember the
like
what are Plathville? The guy who had never had Coke before? They're the family of like
okay,
Nazis.
Yeah, no, because then I remember
blonde-haired, blue-eyed.
Yeah, because I remember now because he had never had Coke and then he married that woman. Okay, yes.
Yeah, that woman is the one that I went to Vegas with.
We love that.
I know. I love that show too. That's another podcast. That's a whole other ball game.
Listen, that show, there's so many moments in that show and I'm just like, this is really making me uncomfortable. Like the Duggars make me uncomfortable, but this is really making me uncomfortable.
Like they make the Duggars look like saints. Mm-hmm. And that's saying something. That's a big like job. Our kids like to lead a natural life where they run in the grass with no shoes. There's probably ticks, but there's no shoes. And we've had Mountain Dew, but they haven't had Mountain Dew. It's like
Mountain Dew's sinful.
Okay. And then it just gets worse. Like we never said that Olivia had demons in her, but we might have said that she had demons. It's like, pick a fucking side, okay? Get your shit together.
America
like,
already
figure it out. And now she's opening a dance studio. Oh my God. With her lovely 4 years of college taking ballet as extracurriculars. It's going to go very well. I'm hoping I can take pole dancing classes there because
yes. No, but
I just want.
We just came across Plathville one day. Like I'd never heard of it.
Yeah.
And it popped up in like one of my YouTube recommendeds. And we watched it, and it was the first time he had tried Coke. And she's like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "These people are fucking strange."
Yeah, I can't imagine.
People are scary, strange,
dude.
Very sheltered, very scary. They hang around the same circles as the Duggars, though. They're just take it to the next extreme. But I think, and like I'm friends with Olivia in real life, but like I don't know much because I don't ask. It's not my business. I prefer to wait until the show comes out to make any judgments or anything because that's not what a friendship is based on. But when I first started covering the show, I was like, what the actual dumpster fire fucking shit is this? Like, everyone's like, cover Welcome to Plathville. I watched the first episode and I made a TikTok. I was like, y'all really want this? Because I don't know if I can do it.
It's very, very weird to watch. Very weird.
Yeah.
Every time I watch shows like that, though, I think of all the times that I thought my parents were being weird. And I'm like, oh my God, my parents are so normal.
Yeah.
I'm such a normal person.
It humbles you.
It really does.
Anytime I
maybe
think
my life
we're kind of we live in BFE. Like I grew up doing some more questionable, like I remember one time in like 6th grade I had a tick and my science teacher acted like I was like infested because like I had been cleaning out a hayloft and so like I had a tick, so I went up, I'm like, hey, like I have a tick, and we had to like tape it to a piece of paper. They had to send it home with my mom or to my mom.
Burn that bitch.
And I was like, this is weird, but
here's my pet.
Yeah. I have one other question that I thought was funny, so I want to ask you. It's back to the Duggars. Which of the Duggar girls' husbands do you think is the hottest, and why is it Ginger's husband?
Yeah, so it is definitely Ginger's husband, 100%. He's a good-looking guy. He really is. He is really just tall, dark, and handsome. Like he's got that olive skin going because he's Italian.
Supportive.
He has a good. He's so supportive. It's
honestly,
actually really refreshing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And like I've always like, even when I was younger, I remember watching the show being like, the Duggar girls are all so pretty. Like
They
they're
really
just
are.
very pretty girls. They
are gorgeous.
It's insane. Like they just are. And like it's not like they shouldn't be, but like I just always felt so bad for them because like I'm like, good God, like what the hell is your parents like? Because I just feel like on TV they're portrayed as these like weirdos, and I'm like, they're not. Like their parents are weird. Don't make the kids seem weird.
Right.
I'm weird.
Yeah. I mean, some of them are also pedophiles. Like,
I hope that's the only one. I hope so
too. But honestly, with how much that family has hid, I'm not saying that anybody's a pedophile, nor do I know anything. I have a few people in with the family, but I wait for them to come to me. But it honestly wouldn't shock me with how, like, anything that comes out probably from now on would never shock me, just because so much has come out in the last, how long have they been on TV? 15, 16 years. It's just like, oh, what's next?
They literally covered it up for so long.
That's the crazy part. Didn't they send, because I'm trying to refresh when that all first broke, because originally when it came out that he had assaulted his sisters and those other, he went to like, they sent him to like a fucking camp or something.
Yeah, so what happened is it happened, and then a police report was made, and then so they were supposed to go on the Oprah show, and somebody had emailed Oprah the day before and had told them this is what's going on, and they canceled the Duggars' appearance on it, and then it never came to light. They hid it for so many years because they were supposed to go on Oprah in like 2006, I think 2007, early 2000s, like a few years after all of it had happened. But when it originally happened, instead of anything happening to Josh, or on my page we call him Hefty, not because of his weight, because of the brand of garbage bags, because I wasn't going to sit there and call him Glad. They sent him to, like, the church elders came together with Jim Bob and sent him to like a camp to dig holes.
Hold on.
It's the
Shia LaBeouf. It was he digging a hero?
I know, right? He was actually an extra on Holes, so but they actually made him dig.
So
so they like sent him to this camp and it like cured him or whatever, which no, it didn't.
Obviously.
No, it didn't. So I mean, and they did nothing about it, and then they like got on like the police reports dropped. The police reports were never supposed to make it to the public. Like, in a way, thankfully it did, because we found out, but like the only reason they addressed it is because the police reports made it to the public.
Yeah.
And the sisters actually just lost their lawsuit yesterday. They filed a lawsuit in 2017 because those police reports were never supposed to see the light of day. They were actually supposed to be destroyed because they were minors. And even though the names are redacted off of it, it's easy to tell who was who by age.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how everybody knew. But they had like, Josh went and talked to a police officer, and that police officer is sitting in jail for 65 years for fucking child pornography. So what did that really do? The stern talking to, the digging of the holes? Obviously not much.
No.
They're pray the gay away type of people, though.
I know. 100%. 100%.
It's, if you're going to go on TV and preach how, and I have no problem with people's religion. I cover shows that are solely based on their fundamentalist religions. I don't care how people live their life. I don't care who they pray to, as long as you're happy and you're happy with yourself and you know what, what you stand for and what your beliefs are in your faith. Like, I'm here for it. Like, you could pray to all Lacey's cows and I'd be like, fuck yeah, how do I join that church? But like, when you come onto TV and you play that we are this, and they say, well, we never said we were perfect. Yes, but when you come on TV and you act like you are the most perfect family in America, you have all these beliefs and you guys do no wrong, you donate to charity, you built yourself from the ground up, and then shit like this happens, why do you act surprised? Why do you act surprised? Because you hid so much from the world When in reality, if they would have found that out in 2006 and those police reports were put out there, there would have never been like the Duggars being like a big family.
Nope.
Did they have that big old fucking, I'm trying to think of what they call those houses.
They live in a fucking compound.
Yeah, the compound. Did they build that compound before the show or once the show, like after a show?
After, I think.
It was after the first special. So when 16 Kids and Counting started, like the actual like seasons, I think around then is when they started building their house because it was documented. Mm-hmm. Somewhere in between the first special and 16 Kids and Counting is when they covered them building their house. And then because everyone was so interested in how big their family was and the dynamics, everyone was like, well, this is a show I would watch. And then it ran until 2015.
Yeah.
And then TLC was like, fuck you. No, we're done with this.
Yeah.
Let's pick up another show with your siblings, though. And then that got canceled last year.
Yep. Yeah, it was Counting On, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was originally supposed to be about Jill and Jessa because they had just gotten married, had a baby, and Jessa was pregnant. Mm-hmm. And then it evolved into all the older kids. But then around season 6, Slum Bob and Michelle slithered their way back in, and it was all about them again.
Which,
and I was like, get off my motherfucking screen.
Yeah. How did you, I just can't imagine being a parent and like knowing that one of my kids did something to one of like my other kids.
Well, they built their compound to prevent that from happening again. Like the layout of the house. It's disgusting that they did that. But I mean, I think they thought they had to do it that way.
The layout of the house is that the girls' room was on one side with the master bedroom being right before it, and the boys' room was on the other side.
So that they knew.
I'm sure they knew who was coming in and out. That they literally built because they built the house after that incident happened. And I hate calling it an incident, but I don't want to be like when that piece of shit touched his siblings. You know, like it's gross. Yeah. Oh, like they literally built that compound, and I call it the Tin Can Mansion. They literally built that based off of what had happened,
which is insane.
And you can tell
they built that big of a house just to prevent their children from
harming each other,
incestuous behavior, basically.
Because you're building this huge house and you have 19 kids, but you're sticking all of the girls in one room and all of the boys in another room.
Yep.
When you have that much room in a house that you have multiple windows and pillars, you could build at least 12 bedrooms at least.
Well, because I remember when 16 Kids and Counting, I remember thinking that's such a small house. Like I always pictured like the original house that they lived in. I was like, how do you fit that many people in that house?
Yeah.
And then they built the Tin Can Mansion, and it's like I still don't feel like that's enough room.
Yeah, like because I understand that like building 20 bedrooms would obviously be very insane, but like you'd think that they'd at least like make it to where like maybe 2, 3, maybe 4 max a room. That way they'd be
shoving bunk beds on bunk beds on bunk beds.
Yeah, because the boys' room was all bunk beds, and then the girls' room was all beds.
Yeah,
I mean it's pretty empty in there now, but I guess when you have that big of a family, you need a big house like that. Like, what are they going to do when all of them are moved out with that house? Like, instead of having, I mean, they'll all come over for holidays because that's the only house I can fit them. But like, what are Jim Bob and Michelle? Who cleans that fucking house?
Not
Michelle. The kids. Because it's not Michelle. But
it's
like, if I was in that family and they were like, go clean your room, I'd be like, you're fucking high, lady. Go to bed.
Josie single-handedly cleans the whole house.
Poor Josie. I want Josie to rebel so bad when she turns 18. Piercings, tattoos, drinking, DJing in different cities, like partying. I want Josie to rebel.
I want one of them to at least. Like I feel like one of them's gotta be like
Ginger wearing jeans is not enough. We need more.
Yeah.
I know Ginger wearing shorts in LA is not enough for me. I need someone with like Ginger's great, and she like broke the mold because when she started wearing pants more often, like they all did, and they've said in multiple episodes, like it's just our personal convictions, like we choose to. But like as soon as they all started getting married and Ginger started wearing pants like regularly, it was like, oh, Jess is wearing sweatpants. Oh, Joy's wearing sweatpants. It's like, who are you people? What happened to your all your skirts? Like, where are they? Like, I bet Ginger donated hers. Like, go off.
It's just funny because I always thought that Jana would be the one to like break the mold. For whatever reason, I thought she would be the one to be like, this is not, I'm not doing this. And then it was Ginger, and I was like, oh, go up, pop off, sis.
Pop off, queen.
Right. Well, and then Jill doesn't talk to her parents, like rarely. They they're not on a good. They haven't been on good terms for a few years.
Right.
I can't
and
imagine.
She's actually like, no, you know. And I'm like, especially with like, what really got to me, I think more recently with a lot of the Duggar sisters, especially the ones who were unfortunately victimized by their brother, is that a majority of them showed up to court. Actually, all of them but Ginger showed up to court because Ginger's in LA. And when they were taking, like paparazzi was taking photos of them walking out, they're like, especially Joyanna's face, to me, it seemed like that was the first time that they had actually heard the full story of what happened to them. Like Jim Bob had fabricated everything and told them a bunch of lies and got everybody into it, because when Joy and Austin were there, Joy looked like someone had punched her in the face and she was never going to recover. Like no color in her face, just like downright like, what the fuck did I just hear? Well, I don't think they knew.
They obviously didn't handle Josh's end of everything the right way. So it makes you like, obviously those girls did not get any kind of like, you know, therapies. Right. And now they need more therapy because they're finally figuring out what actually happened to them. Because you're probably right. I'm sure, you know, to save face, religious face and political face, he probably did. You know,
I'll tell you, Jim Bob told them a way lesser story than what actually happened.
I'm sure.
He probably said that it needs to happen because of fucking Jesus or some shit. Like your brother did that because God told him to.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me that that's what they're telling Josh's kids right now, is that the reason that he's in jail is because it's God's choice. God needs him in jail to help.
Well, the book you talked about in that one video about how what to do if your husband goes to prison.
Why is that book? The cult book, yeah. So I need to find that because I'm overdue for a book club on that one. There's literally a page in this book, and this book was written in like the early 90s, and it says, if your husband goes to jail for sexually assaulting your children, trigger warning for those who are listening. If your husband sexually assaults your children, they said your, like their children, but I would assume it means children in general. Testify against him, pray he gets 20 years, bring the kids to see him 3 or 4 times a year while he's in jail. Bring him like Bible studies, you know, godly things so that he gets back right. And then, you know, once he gets out, the kids will be old enough to be around him. It's like, what the fuck? Why are you prepping people for that?
Why is that on your checklist?
Why is it like, oh, testify against him and like pray he gets 20 years?
Huh?
It's just the craziest
Why are
thing.
we preparing? This is not a fucking bomb shelter.
Rules and warnings because
this is what happens. It happens too often. I mean, even outside of the church, it happens too often. That should never be a thing against kids, and unfortunately, it is. You know, it's the reality of the situation. But for it to be in a fucking book that you're giving to your daughters before they get married or after they get married, so that they're the perfect godly wife, I would look at that page and I would be like, I'm fucking out of here. Like me and God will sort it out later.
Yeah.
Well, and to go from like, this is how you satisfy and keep your husband to this is what happens if your husband touches your children.
Right.
Like
that book pretty much, that book is awful. And that's why I'm doing like a book club on it, is because it literally just teaches you how to shut the fuck up and just be a godly woman towards your husband. Whatever he wants, he gets. If he wants to come home and do nothing all day, you're the one who has to cook. You're the one that has to clean. You have to take care of the kids. Like, it's like, no, I value sleep. And I value my time, and I ain't gonna be doing that. Sorry.
Dude, I literally I'm always so grateful that I have the father that I have when it came to upbringing, because I can be the meanest bitch when it comes to that stuff. Cause I'm like, I know what I bring to the table. What are you gonna do for me? Like, right. I do not give a shit. Like, I am single by choice. And I literally just like, trust me, Julie can attest. Sometimes I've let men treat me like dog shit.
Yep.
But I have luckily learned from that. And now I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing wasting my time? Like,
I've been there.
I've
been there.
That way though. Ugh. They do not think that way. Ugh. And there's more.
It's just a mess.
That's the scary part. It's not just the Duggars.
No, they're just the only ones that got televised.
Like Anna came from a family like that.
Yeah, I just
came from a majority of them.
Face with reality, and she takes those kids and she leaves and never looks back.
Well, she's the one who started the whole uproar again. She was like, "There's more to the story."
Oh yeah, that happened last week.
Nope.
Mm-hmm. She posted a tweet. She posted a tweet and an Instagram story, and all it said was, "There's more to the story," and there was a link to the 26th docket of his acquittal filed by the attorneys to get him out of jail. It's like, you're that fucking delusional. Like, I get it. Like, she was raised in a cult where her sole duty is to be a wife, be loyal to her husband, and raise his kids and put, you know, and do that. I understand that she's brainwashed. She really is. It's how she was raised. It's how she was everything. But to post that and think that people were going to support you.
That's a bold
No.
move.
More balls than I would have. I'm ready to start a GoFundMe for her and go pick up her and her 7 kids. Like, get in the car, losers. We're fucking leaving.
Yeah.
Well, like,
We're
my thing.
unbrainwashing you.
We're gonna send you to a camp. Like, from this, like, the child protective, like, point of view, because, like, obviously I'm all in that shit, but, like, they never, like, there was nothing done with the kids. Like, if that were to happen to a normal person, the kids would be removed no matter which parent was the offending factor, and, like, would not have been given back until everybody was, like, cleared. And that didn't happen. It was just so weird to me that they were just like, he could still visit them. No, but he's got pictures of, you know, all that on his computer.
Yeah, they said he could only see his kids if Anna was present, but how do we know that Anna was even in the room? Yep. Because how can we even trust that Anna was even coherent enough? And I say that not that she was drunk or on drugs. Like, how do we know that she's coherent enough to even, like, trust? Yeah, I wouldn't take my fucking eyes off him. I'd be like, yeah. You fucking
well, it was, like, really sad because, like, when Josh went away the first time and she moved in with
Jim Bob and
Michelle, like, she was living in the girls' room, and it was just so sad because it was just her and all of her kids just living in this room. Well, it's not a little room, it's a pretty big room, but, like, and she would just be like, well, we heard that Josh is doing really well, because he went after the Ashley Madison thing. He went to, like, a treatment or something to be
he went to a rehab in Rockford, Illinois. I'm from Illinois. I'm from Chicago. So he went to a rehab, quote unquote, facility in Rockford that's currently being investigated for hundreds of claims of sexual assault within the rehab.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah. So that's, you know,
heck of a rehab.
Superb treatment round 2. Yeah, that was the first season of Counting On. There was a little bit of Jill and Jessa, but it was mostly Anna saying that, you know, well, I'm going to bring him this care package. And she just gave him birth to their 4th kid.
Yep.
She still had 3 more after.
And named one of them fucking Madison. I told Lacey that earlier today. I was like, listen, after the whole Ashley Madison thing came out, and then all the, you know, child porn thing came out, and then Lindsay made this video. We don't know what the baby's name is, but I'm sure it won't be Madison. And then it was like, boom. Introducing Madison.
I ate my words. I literally ate my fucking words. Because they're like I got the notification because I have all of them, like, where if something gets posted, I'm like the first on it. So I can be like, screenshot, upload it, use this music, it's fine, whatever. And I saw that and I literally dropped my phone. I was like, that bitch did not name her Madison. She did not name her Madison. And I posted it and everyone's like, why? And everyone thinks it's because when you search, they're hoping when you search Madison with, like, Duggar in the search bar on Google, that, like, the baby announcement will pop up.
That's very true.
How do you have a 7th child with your husband who's a piece of shit, who cheated on you and spent your money on a fucking website named Ashley Madison, and be like, you know what? Baby number 7, Madison.
Because everything's a PR stunt. Everything has to be.
It is.
And it's kind of sad because those kids never get the chance to they'll never live a normal life.
No. None of those Duggars get to live a normal life.
Well,
if I ran into a Duggar, I'd be like, oh my God, whoa, hi.
Jeremiah.
I'd be like, hang on.
Let me go through the intro.
Wait, who are you? No, you're not that one. That one's in jail. Jana, not John David. No. You know what? You might be that one. Maybe.
Hold on.
Don't tell me.
The Bible. Let me see what name pops up.
Let me just Google your whole family real quick so I can figure it out myself.
I'll open my Duggar Rolodex.
Yeah.
Yeah, pictures.
Oh my God.
It's just It's so
I don't
wild.
know how, like, I'm somebody who, like, I don't like, not to sound like a freaking witchy bitch, but like, I just pick up on too much shit. Like I carry other people's stuff. So like, that's why I a lot of times stay more away from a lot of this shit, because like, I just like get so heavy and drained by it. How the hell do you report on this constantly and not just like, what's your good in the world that you look at?
Well, okay, so to be 100% transparent, so like let's start from like Thanksgiving, right? That's when we knew like court was coming up. I'm like, okay, Thanksgiving's gonna happen. And then I knew I had Vegas the weekend after. So I'm like, okay, I will cover the trial, and if anything really good comes out, like I'll cover it while I'm in Vegas. And like Olivia was very understanding. She's like, no, it's fine. Like, you know, we're here, we're hanging out. And I didn't spend a lot of time on my phone, but I would like every like hour or so, I'd be like, I'm gonna screenshot real quick, upload it with some crazy music. By the time that they were coming to the weekend before the verdict came out, I was burnt out, because it's constant checking. You're not sleeping because people are sending you stuff left, right, and sideways, which I love everyone that follows me to death, because if I don't catch it right away, they do. So it's like immediate, something came out, you need to post about it. When the verdict came out, after I had cried because he was going to jail and I was so happy, I went home that night and I sat in bed and I cried for 2 hours for Anna, because even though she's brainwashed, she's still a human being. She has 7 kids. She has no education, no income except for what they have in their savings account, which they're not stupid with money. They never have been. So I'm sure she's okay. I cried for Anna because of how much pinpointing was on her now, because now she's pressured. He's going to jail. Is she going to stay? Obviously she's going to stay, but is she going to leave? What about her kids? What's going to happen now? And, you know, for someone who has no education and no income, when you have a husband that's taking care of all of that, you're secure. Now she's vulnerable. She's got nothing. I sat in bed and I cried for 2 hours because I was so emotionally drained, because like it takes a lot out of you. You're reading things about poor innocent kids. You're reading things from his past that were coming to light because people were testifying that knew him personally back then. It was a lot of crying. Like I outcried Kim Kardashian that night. I was just like sobbing and I was wiping away tears and I was like screaming, like, how do we help her? Like, what do we, like, I was calling to my own God. It was a chicken nugget God probably, but like, I was just crying because it's draining. It's so emotionally, I can't imagine how she felt going home that night knowing that, oh, well, my husband's probably going to jail for at least 12 years minimum.
Yep.
And I have 7 kids and one's a newborn. It's draining.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't know how you do it. Because I mean, I literally, just to kind of put in perspective how ridiculously sensitive I am. My sister is also a foster mom, and she has 2 girls right now that I am in love with. I hope to God she adopts them, because I love them. And they came to our Thanksgiving, and it was the first time they had come to our home, and they were just very excited. And the one girl's older, she's 9, and she just was looking at me and she left me a little note. And because she's shy, so she likes to leave notes. And she said, you know, bye, Lacey. Sorry if I spelled your name wrong, love, and her name. And she was asking when she could come back and if they could come back, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I was just sitting up in my room and I just bawled my fucking eyes out. My parents both came up and were like hugging me, because I'm like, I was inconsolable. I was just like, how could you just take the most innocent thing we have on this earth as a child, and how did their birth mom just do that to them? And to the point where now they got to, like, they were with our dysfunctional asses for a couple hours, but felt like that was a home, and now they never want to leave. Like, how can you do that? Like, I just lost my fucking shit. Like, I was just a hot mess. And I would
100%.
Oh, it just breaks my heart. And that's why, like I told Julia, I was like, I love this kind of drama. I was like, but when it involves kids, it's hard for me to like get into it, because then I just feel heavy and I just feel sick, because I just don't understand. I cannot fathom in my brain how people can do anything wrong to a child. Like, I don't get it. It doesn't compute in my brain.
there was a couple times like when the Sun, because I was following the Sun because they had reporters in the courtroom. So the minute that they came out for break, they were posting updates left, right, and sideways. And there was a couple of them that were pretty descriptive about the images of CSAM and the videos. And a lot of that, like I explain all the time, like all of those like images and the CSAM and everything, that's not new to federal investigators. Those videos have been floating around for years and those images have been floating around for years. But to hear the descriptiveness of them, and I posted it and I was like, I really don't want to post it, but if I don't, like, then people will probably get mad that I skipped over a bunch of stuff. Like I have to be transparent and report what's being reported. And I literally posted it and the comments were like, how the fuck is he alive? How has nobody killed him? How can he go home and sleep at night next to his wife? He has 7 kids. Like it's a lot, especially when it comes to kids. Cause like, I don't have any kids yet, but I love kids. And like, I get mad when I trip over my puppy. Like I get mad at myself. I'm like, you're a bad mom. Like, you know, like I couldn't imagine like her. Like, I just don't understand. Like, and I don't think she had a clue because he hid it all on the partition. He hid it all through the Tor and the Linux and everything. But like, how could you sleep next to your wife at night knowing you have 7 kids in your house? And a majority of this, like she was pregnant, right? Like, so like, how do you sleep next to your pregnant wife after watching all that? You have to be that fucked up in the head. I think he's psychologically fucked up.
He's probably,
I don't think,
be sociopathic, like deemed sociopathic.
100%. I feel like, and I've said this before, if he would have gotten the proper help the first time, and they actually took him to a licensed therapist and put him into actual accredited programs, I feel like they could have diverted a lot of things, maybe. Because with a lot of people like that, and I'm not a scientist, I'm not a professional, but if they say that, like, you know, once it happens, once it's going to happen again with people like that, it probably would have happened again, yes, but I feel like they did nothing to help him.
Mm-mm.
And look at where he's at now. He's facing up to 20 years in jail, and not even jail, federal prison. Oh, sorry, I have to bring you guys with me. The puppy is whining. He wants out.
You're fine.
That's fine.
Mom. It's because the siren. He's a basset hound, so the sirens are going off, and he's like, I like sirens.
I am a siren.
Right?
Come play with us.
He's gonna be 3 months old.
Aww.
Podcast can't see him, but y'all can. Hold on, let me get him out of here.
Look at the little baby.
He's a little sausage. Come on, Hank. Everyone knows they're gonna be like, oh, I am listening to Lindsay because she's yelling at her dogs again. I need him to wake up though. But yeah, it's just, I just don't know how he could go home at night. And like, it's funny, during the trial, they were trying to argue that he wasn't there, but there were so many text messages between him and Anna and photos and a picture of his in the screen of his computer, him being in there. And it's like, how do you sit there and say that you're innocent when you're not? I think him sitting in jail is justified. He needs to stay in there for a long time. I wish it was longer than 20 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
That should be it for life.
Smiling in your initial arrest mugshot, and then after you get like charged for child pornography, I feel like that's a big problem.
I just really like, if there's anything, I just hope that there is just a lot more to come, not only for this family specifically, but just in the world as a whole. I just hope that we do more and do better with protecting our children. Like, I just
100%.
God, we need to protect our kids. I don't care what measures we have to take, but protect the fucking
100%.
kids. Jesus.
Right. They've done nothing. They're innocent.
No.
Like, to be fair, we were all kids. Like, we didn't ask to be brought into this world. We didn't ask to be in our late 20s or early 30s paying fucking electric bills. You know, like, we didn't ask for this. But like, I just, for a family that's pro-producing, right? Like, against birth control, your goal in life is to have godly children. For that kind of shit to come out, it's just, that's why people are mad.
Yeah.
That's why people are mad. You promote, oh, God wants you to have as many kids as you can have, and this is this, and we love, you know, who we love, and it's like, and then all that comes out, it's like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, God doesn't want you to raise a kid that touches your other kids and leaves them with trauma.
My God doesn't.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
My God doesn't either.
My God.
It blows my mind. And I think that's why Amazon Prime is doing the documentary on IBLP. It's about the Duggars and the Bates. And they're sprinkling Welcome to Plathville in there, which is weird to me because they're not really associated with IBLP. But with how extreme Kimmy is, I see why they're putting them on there. But everyone was like, well, what do you think it's about? I'm like, it sure shit ain't a Duggar campaign. It's not Jim Bob running for senator, I'll tell you that. They're going to, I was like, they need to call me. They're going to deep dive into how awful their religion is.
Somebody needs to.
Yeah, honestly, because I think that's the only way to change. Like that's one of the biggest steps in protecting our kids, because we only found out that this was happening because it broke, and it was because it was a public family. You know, if this was another culty family that had this many kids but wasn't on TV, we wouldn't have found out about it.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. There's so many people, there's so many families like them
that we don't know about.
Yeah, it'll never get that attention. The
only way that we can take steps in the right direction to make sure that no kids like have to deal with that kind of upbringing is to bring attention to it, to be like, hey, this shit's fucked. We need to have something in place. Like, obviously people are gonna be like, okay, well, what steps can you take? And that's gonna get hairy. You know, it's not like being like, okay, you only have 5 kids max. Like, it's not like that's gonna fucking solve problems, but there just needs to be something put in place, because why did you need to have 19 kids? Why?
Well, it's like she said, like that's what the God they
that's what they're called to do. But that's the scary part, is there's so many other families out there like them. Who knows? Yeah. The leader of their church stepped down because he was accused of sexually assaulting young women in the church. And that's why I think Amazon is doing the documentary, because they're going to uncover everything. And that's what needs to happen. They did so well with LuLaRoe, which I no hate if anybody sells LuLaRoe, do you, honey, make your money. But sometimes a lot of their leggings are comfortable. I own a couple black pairs, it's fine. But like, I think they're really going to get into the nitty gritty of how awful and how just straight up abuse that religion is.
I think it's a lot more than you realize too.
Oh yeah.
Oh God. Oh, 100%. I don't think people realize how deep it goes either. It's deep. It's deep. Every single one of those in-laws besides Jeremy and Ben are from the same religion, same structure, everything. Jeremy and Ben came from a very similar like group, like church group, whereas Jeremy didn't. And Derek, I think Derek might have come from like kind of like where Ben came from, like somewhere that wasn't that deep into it. But now that Jill and Derek are I call it desensitizing themselves from the cult, it's going to take a long time. Yeah. That's all they know, you know. And Jeremy, I think Jeremy's just has always been strong in his faith. I read him and Ginger's book. I did a book club on that. That's what started my book club series on TikTok. And you can tell because he was a preacher's son, that's what he grew up in. But it wasn't as deep as what Ginger went through. Mm-hmm. And I think that Ginger has morphed into what Jeremy does, but I don't see Jeremy as a problematic person. Is he very strong in his religion and very strong in his beliefs and his, you know, his scriptures? Yes, but that's because that's what he does. It's what he knows. It's what his job is. But I don't, and Derek and Jill are like, bye, see ya. We have our shit, but like, we're going to do whatever the fuck we want. We're going to drink alcohol.
Which like,
I would love to see Michelle slam, like just slosh on like Barefoot Line. I would pay the highest amount of money.
That'll be their next scandal to cover everything up.
Yeah.
Michelle found in a closet with 3 bottles of wine, the Barefoot kind, the big bottles from Walmart. I would be like, fuck yes, bitch. Call me, we're gonna party.
Yeah. That's our next move. Next podcast, we get all the sisters who have broke free on a fucking Zoom call.
Well, there's a show, what was it called? I don't know if it was Breaking Polygamy or something. It covered more of like the LDS. Yeah. And like those girls go like they were very straightforward with like, this is what happened, this is why I'm out.
Yeah.
And then it's like they have to like, they do all kinds of shit just to get like family members out, and I'm like, this is so insane that you lived like that.
It makes you really just like grateful for your childhood.
Yeah, my parent, like she said,
yeah, like it really does. And it sounds bad because you don't want to like be like, I'm so glad, like, because like, you know, everyone has their own sprinkles of trauma, that's for sure, but it really makes you grateful that like you grew up in like a more,
I mean, I think I can speak for everyone here. I'm pretty glad my parents didn't try to marry me to my uncle at 3 years old.
Yeah.
So
Right, exactly. Like I'm
glad my parents didn't go, hey, listen, there's this boy down the road, he has the same beliefs, we think you should court him and do side hooks for 3 months.
I'm so glad that my dad found me in field at 16, drunk off UV blue, and still loved me after that. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't like, you need church. He was like, no, honey,
you're gonna go dig holes.
He didn't bring all the church elders together.
It's like my dad and I talk about, and I'll talk about it. Like, side note. So like one day in high school, like obviously a majority of people have smoked weed in high school. And I went to a party and I smoked like 3 joints and I drank a bunch of like alcohol. And like back in the like early 2000s, I graduated in 2009. So like UV blue was big, drinking Smirnoff from the bottle straight was big, like the MD 2020s were big. I come home and my high ass is like, let's make a bowl of cereal. And I get the big popcorn bowl that everyone always doubles from like, from the Midwest. The puke bucket, right? And I pour the whole bag of cereal in there, brand new, just pour it all in there. And I'm carrying this big bowl up the stairs. My dad looks at me and he goes, God damn it, Lindsay. And I'm like, what? And he goes, that's a big bowl. And I was like, don't be jealous. This is the bowl that I chose. He's like, is that the whole bag of cereal? And I was like, I don't know. And I'm standing on, he's like sternly talking to me because he knows I'm fucked up. I'm like 17 and I'm just eating out of the bowl as he's talking to me. And he goes, how's that weed taste? And I was like, it was pretty great. And he goes, and he's the favorite memory ever. He goes, how high are you? I said 5'5.5". That's how tall I am. But I would love to see, I want to see one of them break out and smoke weed, drink on the weekends, throw barbecues where they're wearing bikinis. I would live for it.
Yeah. I want them all to get the justice that they deserve, really. Like that's what I want.
Yeah. I want to crowdfund to get them all therapy.
Yeah.
Well, because the therapy that they get is not accredited. It's through the church.
It's the church elders that are like fucking psychos.
What happened to you was okay.
Right. Like, I think Jill is seeing an actual therapist, not through the church, because you can tell the difference in her from where she was when she was on the show. She's very much more calm. She doesn't seem anxiety ridden. She doesn't, like, when she came over to tell her parents that they were pregnant because she like took a pregnancy test, she made it sound like she was going to jail. Like, I accidentally stole something. It's like, you took a pregnancy test from your mom. Like, it's fine. She has 19 children.
Stop using those.
Yeah.
Right. Like, first of all, why does your mother have pregnancy tests still? Are they still trying to have another baby? Because they unfortunately, and child loss really sucks, but they lost their 20th. So when Jill was like, well, I kind of took something, like in the middle of Bible study time, like she was confessing it as a sin. And it was like, it's a fucking pregnancy test. Like, okay, if my mom was in my life and I needed a pregnancy test and she had one left, I would still take that shit. I'd be like, see ya, you have more money than me, right? Like, you know, and they need accredited licensed therapy. They need somebody who is not a part of their church. They need somebody that they can sit down and be like, so where do you want me to start?
Yeah.
Honestly, I wish there was a way that they could, like, if something else did happen, they could court order that every single one of the kids that are still, like, you know, minors, because obviously 18 and up, whatever, do what you want, but like every child in that home should be exposed to some kind of like accredited therapy. But it'd have to be like court ordered, because, like, you know, like you said, they're going to the church and they're talking to Joe about what happened.
One of the elders.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's the scary part, is that if that were to ever happen, I'd be afraid to know why it happened. Like, why would they order that? Like, what would come out, you know?
Well, yeah, because
you know,
now,
if they didn't do it now, They didn't do it now. They didn't do it in 2006. They didn't do it in 2015. What would be the breaking point as to why now they would court order something like that? And that's the scary part. That's what's scary. It's like now everyone's on edge. Like, what else is going on?
It's very, very.
And I think it's a lot.
It is. It is a lot.
It is.
But we appreciate. Like I do.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. I don't mind doing it. It's to the point where everyone's like, I want Duggar content. It's like, what else do you want me to cover? You know, like, and I'm not trying to mean that in a mean way, but like they're so irrelevant right now because everyone like pretty much hates them.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
there's no converting. If you ask anyone about the Duggars now, they'd probably be like, oh yeah, fuck them right now.
Jim Bob.
Right. Like the next time that they'll become more relevant to like the gossip news and like to the world is when sentencing happens. Because everyone wants to see how he's going to go down.
Yeah.
I mean, I
don't think he's going to get out. I really don't.
I really hope not.
Yeah, no.
Everyone's a little worried, but I'm not.
Yeah. Well, it's hard when they're in the limelight, right? So they automatically get a special kind of treatment. They get the best lawyers, like
right.
You look at the Casey Anthony thing, and if had it not been for her sleeping with her very expensive lawyer, she wouldn't have moved to Florida and started a new life. So it's hard to talk about it.
It's hard because the acquittal. So the papers with the acquittal they filed is because one of the people that they were going to bring up for testifying, Caleb Williams. Here's me going off on a tangent again. Welcome to. This is actually my TikTok account. It's only you two that follow me now, which is fine. You know, I'm good with that. So what had happened was Caleb Williams was supposed to testify for the defense. He used to work at the car lot. He's also a sex offender. He's on the registry. And he sent an email the day before Thanksgiving. First of all, why the fuck are you emailing a prosecutor the day before Thanksgiving? Like, people are fucking either at Blackout Wednesday at the bars drinking. No. If I was a prosecutor, that's what I'd be doing. Or they're at home with their families because everyone's in town or they're out of town. But the prosecutor that he emailed was not the two prosecutors he was talking to prior. It was a different prosecutor. And he emailed them and was like, I just feel like I haven't been honest with my timeline, and sent like a week by week timeline of where he was. And at first I was like, why the fuck would you do that? With like pictures, like text, like who he was talking to on this day around the time that the images were downloaded. At first I was like, why the fuck would he do that? Then I realized because he was sending screenshots of his text, he was trying to cover his ass because he thought they were going to pin it on him. But the problem is he emailed the prosecutor the day before Thanksgiving, which is the weekend before trial started. And then he emailed them during the trial, the day before the prosecution rested their case. The problem is that the defense is saying that they withheld information from them. But when you pull the FOIA, all the information says is that he was trying to save his ass, and he was 100% not in Arkansas at that time. The defense doesn't care. Their job is to uphold the laws for their client. Mm-hmm. So they're saying that the prosecution withheld evidence from them, and that's the big deal. Now the question comes down, were those emails open and viewed? That's where they're trying to get a mistrial or an acquittal, or they're going to try to retry, like do another trial. And if they try, I'm going to have to take another 2 weeks. I'm going to have to take 2 weeks off of work because I don't have time to be a full-time corporate America business lady, sort of, and then be a dog mom and be a wife and do all of that. I don't have time for that.
No, I don't blame you.
I would have to take time off of work because it is like, I've learned, and we talked about this earlier, I've learned that it is so stressful. It is very emotionally draining. I don't have the time for it again. I already did it.
Mm-hmm.
I would literally have to take off and cast my phone to my TV and just constantly refresh, because it's going to be the same shit over and over again. But they have that right. They have that right to ask for an acquittal. Is it standard to ask for an acquittal? Oh yeah, every defense attorney asks it, even if it's not granted. That's how they make their money.
Oh, well, because what if that does happen? I mean, Duggar talk is obviously going to explode all over again.
If he's out, people will riot.
I bet he does. Never mind. I bet he does end up,
I wouldn't. this sounds awful. I'm surprised it hasn't happened.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Well,
I don't
because
know how it hasn't.
the thing is like, I don't want to sound dark, but like it's common knowledge now that the least liked people in any type of prison are child molesters, like anything against children. So I feel like he would probably want something different than to go to prison.
If he did go to prison, he would not be in Gen Pop. I can guarantee that.
Gen population.
Yeah.
They usually put them in what they call pedopods, where a majority of the people that they're grouped with went to jail for the same thing. If he was let into Gen Pop, I give him 3 days.
Yeah.
Tops.
Yeah. It would just
because people in there, once they find out that you're a sex offender or you've molested children or you've done something to a child, they don't give a fuck. They're already in jail, probably for life. They'll just fucking kill you. They don't care.
Yeah.
Someone will be like, I got this. I'm here forever, right? They don't give a shit. Because in their eyes, they did right, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, if you're in jail for murder, that's a really big deal. But like, to kill a sex offender, I'd be like, how do I put money on your books? Do you need ramen? Do you need ramen? Can I DoorDash you KFC?
Yeah.
Or McDonald's? Like, what do you need?
TV time? I can pay for that.
Right. Like, and I mean that because it's like with Josh, he's a repeated offender. Unfortunately, he is. He's a piece of shit. He wasn't caught the first time. He was only caught because the police reports made it to the media. Otherwise, no one would know.
Nope.
No one. Could you imagine if those police reports didn't make it, and then you find out that he downloaded all those images, and then it came out in court that he had molested his sisters? That would have been fucking awful. I'm glad we found out what a piece of shit he was. Am I glad that the sisters were outed? No, they're victims through and through. And they never got justice.
In charge of sharing their stories if they chose to.
Yeah. Right. I think that's what pissed me off the most is that they weren't in charge of telling their story. They were forced to go on TV by their parents and talk to Megyn Kelly, and they were forced to out who was who, but it wasn't hard because of ages and the years. And I feel like, especially now with their case being thrown out for the police reports going out, that they'll never get justice. Never.
And that's so
they just chalk it up. Right. It's unfair because, you know, Jim Bob and Michelle were like, except for Jill and Ginger, they were like, you know, it's okay. Like, it was just an accident. It's like, no, it fucking wasn't. It was fucking awful.
It's not an accident when it happens 4 times.
It's not, yeah.
No.
Like,
it's not an accident, period. But like, it's definitely not when it happens 4 times.
Yeah.
Well, then we find out during court when everyone's testifying that it was more than 1 time. And then Jim Bob gets up there and is like, well, I don't remember what Josh said to me. It's like, really, motherfucker? You said on Megyn Kelly, had an hour interview, gave detail by detail of what Josh told you and what you guys did about it. You're going to get up in federal trial and say, I don't really remember what Josh said to me. Like, sit the fuck down, Jim Bob. You and your toupee-ass Lego head, sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up.
Does have Lego hair. It looks like he pops it on every day.
It looks like when you get a Lego man and you put his hair on, that's what he looks like.
Just pop it on.
The hairspray fumes have gone to him.
Honestly,
it's awful.
Can that be the podcast name? Jim Bob, sit the fuck down.
Yeah. I'm down.
Oh goodness.
It's bad. I'm really hoping. I'm putting all my eggs into the basket of Amazon Prime, really just digging into their cult, because I've done a lot of research on it. I've done a lot of deep diving on their website, but their website makes it look like it's such a great place to join and this. And I'm like, no. Knowing what we know, no. You wouldn't catch me dead going to one of your conferences, because I'd sit there and be like, what the fuck is this? What?
Honestly,
making
hold
it
on.
10 minutes.
An idea. What if us 3 bitches go to a conference? Hear me out. Yes. Hear me out.
Dress up.
We can
look like one of them.
We can look like we're a part of it, but then we bust out our tattoos and piercings, go, fuck this shit.
You know what? Don't threaten me with a good time. Like, I would so go. I would go. I would just sit there and I would wear long sleeve collared shirt buttoned up to here. And I'd wear a skirt.
Those little things that they used to make that only the Duggars buy.
I used to wear those. Let's not talk about it.
I mean, I wear emotional support like tank tops every day, but like I don't wear them high up. But like I would just sit there and I would just like, you know, make my hair look innocent, and I would just sit there and I would listen, and then halfway through it I'd be like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
Like what, like seriously, you all listen to this shit? You're all fucking high. Go outside and touch some grass for 5 minutes.
Go ground yourselves. Y'all need Jesus. The actual one.
Jesus.
The actual one, not this fabricated fundamentalist shit.
God, could you?
And that's scary, is that they recruit people every year.
It's just we get up to the mics and they're for questioning.
Yeah, my name's Julie. Hi, Jim Bob. Love the hair. What the fuck?
Yeah, hi. Hi, my name's Lacey. I'm coming up here. Fuck all of you, and I hope that you get shit on later.
Line them all up. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're kind of cool. Fuck you, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. No,
I will turn into a feral barn cat real quick. What fucking security did you hire? None, because you think God can protect you. Well, you're gonna catch these hands.
Right? That would be me. I would become unglued. I don't think I'd be able to make it through like a full conference. I think I would crack in the first 5 minutes. I'd be like,
this is my formal announcement that Jim Bob, if I ever see you, it's on site. It's on fucking site. It's on site. Jim Bob.
Right. Like PTI, like core memories unlocked of Michelle's apron from 16 Kids and Counting that she used to wear to like make it look like she was like really in there doing shit.
oh my God.
Just that apron. I remember the apron and fucking hair. Her hair has gotten a little bit better. I'll give her that. Give her that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I would go. I would 100% go. Yes, hi. I know you want my undying attention always.
Well, we can go ahead. What we'll do is we'll wrap up the recording part and then we can chat for a few moments after. But if you want to go ahead and just kind of explain, like, I know obviously you're Mrs. Kickstand on TikTok, but is there anywhere else people can find you and all that?
Pretty much mostly TikTok. I do have a YouTube channel. Haven't uploaded in a while. That was going to be my backup when my account tanked from getting banned all the time. My Instagram is Mrs. Kickstand, YouTube Mrs. Kickstand, TikTok Mrs. Kickstand, Mrs. Kickstand 2.0. Or what's my third account? I don't even know what my third account is because no, Mrs. Kickstand who? Like WHO, like who? That's my third account. I'm usually on one of those accounts every single day. And I have people say that if I don't post once a day, they think that something's seriously wrong. So you'll find me at all of those places.
Good.
And then you have your Liquid IV.
Yeah.
And then Liquid IV. My code is Mrs. Kickstand. I don't know when this is airing because I don't ask the hard questions like that. But until Valentine's Day, it is 30% off. It's always 25% off though if you use the code Mrs. Kickstand at checkout. So.
After, okay, good, because it may or may not go up before Valentine's Day, so that's good that after
it goes up around holidays from what I'm understanding, but all the time it's 25% off, which is like a really good deal.
Yeah,
and they're on Afterpay, and a bitch loves Afterpay, so
yeah, I feel that.
Well, thank you very
for joining
much.
us.
No, thank you for having me. I'm glad we got to do this.
Well, we just had an interview and it went so fantastic.
It was so good.
My favorite part was when we talked about the one thing.
The one thing.
Yeah.
Sister wives.
Yeah.
Duggdashians.
And the Duggars. And we did.
Yeah, we talked about that one thing.
Yeah.
And about the thing.
Yeah, and about that other stuff.
And that led to the other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
This was a bad idea. So fucking
Listen,
stupid.
we are not good podcasters.
We're fucking professional. What do you mean? We got people asking us questions on podcasting.
Which is insane.
It's probably not smart on their part.
No, it's always crazy when you like do stuff and you don't realize how much you're doing the damn thing until other people ask you and you're like,
how do you do that?
Oh shit.
How do I do what? How do I?
Because like sometimes I really do have that like, oh lord moment when I'm up in my office, like I run a whole ass business and I'm like, what? I'm just me. I'm dumb.
It's just funny when people like ask about the podcast and I'm like, what do you mean? I don't think we're doing a great job.
But like for me it just cracks me up because like so many people like there's just like two different waves. There's people who either look at what I do now as like, oh that's so cute and like just very condescending, or there's people who are like, wow, you're like a celebrity now, and I'm like, can we meet in the middle somewhere?
How many times have I told you like it's so funny because people would be like, oh wow, Lacey, and I'll be like, it's just fucking Lacey.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Oh wow, Lacey.
Well, like we have kind of something funny, and like I don't mean to like I'm not obviously gonna throw names, but like I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but like it's just crazy. We're gonna talk about the one thing, the one comment.
Yeah.
Because like if this person hears it, like I have no hate, but like it was just such a wild thing.
It is. Yeah.
Because and I'm just gonna be honest because that's what I am on my podcast. Sorry. So somebody that I know because they live in this area, and like I know her as a person. Like we're not besties, but like if I see her in public, I'll talk to her, and she's an enjoyable person to be around. But like we aren't friends, like and not in a bad way. Like we're just not friends. We just have never been like that. I think she's like 3 or 4 years older than me, and she tagged me in something because my whole personality at this point is cows.
Yeah.
So anything that cow related on Facebook, 5 people tag me in it, which is fine. I get it. And so there was like this little thing with like how people in really cold climates have to like little earmuffs for cows so they don't get frostbite. And I liked it because it was cute. You know, I get it. Cow themed, whatever. Well, this person has like 5,000 friends on Facebook.
Yeah. Because of what they do for a living.
Yeah. And totally normal. And so one person commented, and the only mutual friend we had was the person that tagged me, and she was like, I'm actually a really big fan of Lacey's, like that's crazy, and she needs these for Oswald, LOL. Which like I thought was such a weird like surreal moment, because I'm like, that's crazy to think that like somebody can tag me on something, because my Facebook is still very private. Like if you add me on Facebook, I will not accept your friend request. It's not because I don't like you as a person, it's just because I didn't choose to make Facebook another platform for me. Facebook is still just for my family and friends and private stuff. So like, don't take offense if I don't accept your friend request. But this person immediately messages back and was like, oh really? Well, she's only like 10 minutes from me. You should see if you can visit next time you're in town. And I was like,
that's not okay. For a lot of reasons.
And like I bounced around what I should do with the situation, because like I didn't want to message this person and make her think that I thought I was some big bad celebrity. But like, you wouldn't invite somebody to somebody else's house even if you were friends, let alone that person having 1.1 million followers on TikTok. And I've had people comment creepy things in the past wanting to know where I live. Like,
I don't even go to parties without asking if I can bring somebody.
Yeah. Like I was literally just in awe, because I was like, you're almost 30 and you don't think that this is...
It was very weird.
Like not appropriate? Like, I understand, like, I'm sure a lot of people from around here were in a very small rural town in Ohio, and so, like, I'm sure that, like, no one clicks that, like, Lacey's kind of an internet personality now, and I'm totally fine with that, because I don't want to be treated, like, any different, but, like, how would you not think that my privacy would be important? Why would your instant reaction...
That person is not inviting all 5,000 people that they know to their house either.
Yeah.
You have to think about, like, that.
Like... I love the people that support me, but my farm is not open to the public because...
It's your home.
It's my home, and it's my family's home. Like, my mom and dad did not sign up for me to do this shit.
No.
So, no. And I did message her, and I tried to be very nice, because I genuinely am not mad. Like, I really think that it probably just wasn't, like I said, she probably was just like, oh, it's just Lacey, how Julie thinks it. But it's like, but even if it was still just Lacey,
you don't... I would never invite somebody to your house.
No. No.
Even before... the internet.
Yeah. Because I think that's weird. Yeah, it's super weird. Especially like...
I also get really weird when people come to my house and they're not invited to my house.
Yeah. And like just, you know, because then that person might message me and be like, hey, that person told me that you're this close to me, or that you're that close to them, can I come over? Then I have to look like the asshole to be like, no.
Yeah.
Because
it shouldn't be that way. You all should know that that's not okay.
Yeah, like, I don't know.
And if you don't, you're living in a fucking dream world. Sorry.
It's true.
You really are.
Yeah.
This is not a fucking amusement park.
No, it's just my farm with some cows.
Right.
Like, some people don't understand, like, when they say things, it comes off very creepy. And I'm like, please don't find my farm. Please don't be piecing it together. Please don't be telling people where I live if you know where I live. So this is just a PSA for people from my area who know where I live. Don't be fucking telling people where I live.
Right. Well, because it's also not going to be that hard to figure out who told.
Yeah.
I'll find you real fucking fast. All I need is a hair color and I'll find out who you are.
That is true. Working at a salon, you know all the town drama. Julie will be like, you know this. No,
I know shit about people. Listen, there's a...
Drinking a Liquid IV, not sponsored, but Liquid IV. I know you sponsor a lot of podcasts.
Oh my
Just letting you know, me and Julie both love your shit. So
please. Or at least send me a fucking case of lemon lime. That's my favorite.
Same. Yeah, we both fuck with lemon lime.
God, so good.
That's what I'm sipping on right now, bitch.
So fucking good. Anyway.
So yeah, just saying. Liquid IV if you're ever listening.
I don't mean to offend anybody, but at the same time, I really don't care. I really don't care.
Okay, I'm ready for this.
There is a widespread pandemic going on in our town.
What care are they choosing to do?
No, it's not even that.
What is it?
I'm just talking about knowing the town gossip.
Oh, okay.
The amount of swingers in our town. Appalling.
That's wild.
Appalling.
That's wild.
Appalling.
Dude, I don't even know shit about anything. Like, there's people that do, like, cocaine and stuff, and I'm just like, there's cocaine in Highland County.
Dude, you want to know anything, and you just come sit in the salon for a little bit. Because if my client's talking about it, then I'm fucking talking about it. Because at that point, because I do have those clients that will talk about stuff in my chair, like, now this just stays between us, right? I'm like, fucking no. I don't know if you know, but Jally, So, and Karen are like, oh my god, did you hear what she just said?
This is also something that I'm not afraid to say, because I don't give a shit. But you can't do or say things in public and then get mad that people talk about it. Right. If you want to keep it a secret, then don't tell people or don't do the thing in public. Because I've recently had a thing where somebody got mad because they did something in a public setting at a party, and then they tried to get 10 kinds of pissed at another person for just simply saying it. And I'm like, listen, if I saw some wild shit at a party, you best believe I'm calling, texting, FaceTiming Julie like, hey bitch, guess what?
We had a whole little girlfriend group that was only put together because one person did something.
Yeah.
Like, that was all PFP was. We literally came together
over one
person doing something wild at a party, and we were all talking about it.
Yeah, because like I said, if you, like, straight up, if you want to do something, that's fine. But, like, don't get mad at other people for talking about it if you do it in front of them. Like, that would be like me talking about something on this podcast and then getting pissed that, like, it got to a drama channel.
Yep.
Guess what? I put it on here.
Right.
Like, what? You can't put things on the internet and then be mad. That's why I don't get mad at people that comment on my videos. I put myself out there. I have to be ready for all the questions, all of the comments, concerns, and the advice that I may not have asked for. Like, I have to be prepared for that, and that's why I don't get pissed. Like, people that get pissed at their followers, I literally do not understand.
I don't understand that either.
Like,
you can't make a public... You can't bring attention to negative things and then get shocked when people are like, oh, this person who has this many thousands of followers is giving me attention? Like,
because I'm just shitting on her?
Right, because I'm shitting on them.
And, like, I'm so sorry, but the people who are, like, you know, constantly commenting back to, like, hate comments and then being like, oh, but I don't let it bother me. Sis, it bothers you.
Yeah, and it's very clear.
It bothers you a lot, my baby.
8 videos.
It bothers you a lot. Because I simply just, if I see something that's negative, I just delete it and move on.
Yep.
Because I don't want to entertain it. But there's so many people that'll just like, you put yourself on the internet. The moment you do that, you have to understand that people are going to be selfish, and that's just how the internet works.
Yep.
Like, I'm sorry, that's what you signed up for. When you put and share your life with the internet,
once you become a public figure.
Yes. That's what you
exactly
signed up
what that
for.
means. It's public.
And, like, it's not like it's brand new. Like, we've seen YouTubers now for 10, 12 years doing this shit. So, like, I knew once I put my cows on the internet, I would have to defend myself. I would have to explain and educate, and that's what I decided to do. So, you can't get mad when people want to know about things and feel entitled because you have put your life out there. It can be annoying at times, for sure.
I'm sure it is.
But
you also, this is the other thing. You're also at a point where you have other people that deal with similar things. That's where you should be taking your anger and be like, hey guys, I just need to vent real quick because it's really pissing me off and I don't want to give it attention on the internet.
Yep. I do that with Julie. Sometimes I do it with Christine. Like, I'll just, because, like, it's nice to do it with fellow, like, creators because they do really understand where you're coming from. Yep. But then also it's sometimes really nice just to text my best friend or call her and be like, listen, I just need to talk about this because it's pissing me off. And I do it on my live sometimes. Like, if I know it's a live with, like, only my, like, OGs, like, I'll be like, hey, I don't want to bring attention to this, but here's 3 things that annoyed me. And they'll be like, you're valid. And then I'm good. Because it's a small group of people. It's not me, like, talking shit. Because you have to also remember that, like, people who are commenting those things are probably fucking children. And you know how dumb you look being a grown adult shitting on a child? Like, can we talk about that?
Oh, speaking of shitting on people, that's another thing that I hear too much in this.
You told me that a person
A very well-known person in our town.
Shits on her husband's chest, and I was like, yike. Listen, I don't want to kink shame anyone.
I don't want to kink shame. I'll kink judge though.
We're putting that on. I don't kink shame, but I kink judge.
I can give that kink like a 1 out of 10.
You know, I don't get the hype, but like, I mean, people are into it.
Stinky.
Stinky, ooh, nasty.
That's disgusting. It's fucking nasty.
That's one of those like wild ones. Like, I would just, if a guy was like shit on my chest, I'd be like, no.
Suck it? No.
I'd rather you suck on my toes.
For real.
100%.
I don't need anything inside of me coming out.
Yeah.
I don't need you to play with anything. I don't want to play with anything that comes out of you. Like, no. If that makes me vanilla, then so fucking be it.
I will be a vanilla swirl.
That's fine. But I
call me vanilla bean all day, but
I can't do the poopsies.
No,
I can't do the poopsies. I can't do the peas either.
Yeah, No.
I don't need the bathroom play.
No.
I don't need
We'll
that.
keep that in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Where it belongs.
There's a reason you flush it.
Yeah.
Because no one wants to see it.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Which, by the way, yesterday I took the nastiest shit. I told Lacey.
No, let me explain this. Let me take the reins.
Okay.
So me and Julie are way too close of friends. That's already just apparent. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times she just poops with the door open, and she has one bathroom in her house.
I don't care. I really do. That door never gets shut.
No, and I don't give a shit either. And so I was in the living room, and Julie stands up, and for some reason, like, apologizes, like we weren't in like a heated conversation.
We were talking, and we were still talking, and I was like, I gotta take a quick shit.
Yeah, so she says, I gotta take a quick shit, I'm sorry. And I was like, okay, whatever. Not even 3 seconds go by, and I just hear, and I was afraid she didn't make it to the toilet because it was so fast.
So
and like,
bad.
it was the first one, and I treated it like you do in the bathroom stall when, like, if there's someone next to you just like really having a bad day, and you're like, I'm not gonna acknowledge this because I'm an adult and everybody poops. So that's how I handled it.
Giggle in the stall.
Yeah,
next to them.
you know. So that's how I handled it first. But then it just kept happening, and I was like, bro, you good? And she's like, I'm pissing out my asshole.
Piss out my ass.
And I was just like, I should have just. She pisses when she farts.
Oh, dude, it was bad. It was gnarly.
But it was just so funny because then Julie came out a changed woman.
It was bad. It was so bad.
I mean, I felt it from the living room.
It was so
It shook
bad.
the house.
It was so bad.
It was rough.
It was bad.
And it stunk.
Yeah. I do be stinking.
She do be pooping.
She do be pooping.
She has IBS.
I have ideas.
Only hot girls have IBS.
That's fucking right. That's fucking right. So I think we should start doing this thing.
Okay.
Speaking of the positivity thing, like not drawing attention to negative things, we haven't got any like negative remarks on our podcast,
Because
and we
my
better
stop
fucking not.
Don't be mean to us. We're sensitive.
And so we've had people like DM the Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
People comment really nice things on the YouTube. A lot of people with like questions and stuff, and that's been really nice to like answer or whatever. But I think that when we get some like positivity sent our way, we should share it.
Yeah.
We should shout out the people that give us positivity.
Yeah.
That provide serotonin.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm down.
So,
Yes.
we got a DM
Ooh.
to the independent and unstable Instagram. That's independent _ and _ unstable Instagram.
If you want to go follow, we'd appreciate it.
Right? It will be in the bio.
Yes.
From Candace Black.
Okay.
Okay. Candace said, I love the newest episode of the podcast. The podcast brings me so much joy and happiness.
Aw, that's so nice.
I know.
Thank you, Candace.
I know. So we appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes. That makes me happy. I really do love when people give us feedback that they enjoy the podcast because genuinely, like, when me and Julie decided to do a podcast, we weren't thinking like, oh my god, we're gonna have so much money. We're gonna just like, we genuinely just are big podcast buffs. Like, we both really enjoy podcasts, and it's really fun to just sit here and talk to your best friend. So like, you know, would it be cool to get to a place where we made money off of it? Of course. Yeah. But like right now, it's just fun.
Well, it's also nice to know that we, like, the joy and happiness part, like, makes my little cold ass heart warm up a little bit because, you know, like we talked about before, like Jenna was obviously a big influence for you. Like, that was a person that you watched, you listened to when things got rough, like when you needed to pick me up, and like to know that like we could be that to other people.
Yeah.
It's so morally like rewarding.
Yes.
Like, I know that sounds selfish, but it is. It just makes you feel good.
It does. Like, knowing that you're a safe place for somebody is genuinely so. Because like I said, like that seriously is like what you said, like Jenna Marbles was somebody who I watched from the time I was like 13.
Yeah.
And when I went through really bad mental health phases of my life, sometimes the only thing that I'd look forward to in that week was her videos. And it was just like a place where I could avoid having an anxiety attack. Like I could just rewatch her videos and it would just keep me in a happy place. Yeah. And so to think that like, you know, people will send me DMs that are like, you know, like you're that for me now. It's such a rewarding thing and it's something I don't take lightly. Right. So that's why I always try to just stay positive and keep my content the way it is and branch out, because I know how desperately I needed that at times. So I want to make sure that I can always be that for other people.
Right.
Because it's truly awesome to be able to do that.
So I just thought we could start doing that.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I love that.
Anything you want to tell us? You have any questions? That would be really dope too. If you
guys
start, like, asking questions.
Yeah, we would love to give some
advice on the podcast.
And I'm also always down to give advice. I think it's really cool because we have two different aspects. You have an aspect, like especially like more on, if you think of like relationship wise, we have a married woman and then a woman who hates men with a passion.
Yeah. But like, yeah, if you DM us on Instagram with like questions and stuff, just make sure like you're okay with us like replying to you in a video. Yeah, for sure. Like if you don't want your name or something, just make sure you please note that, because obviously your privacy is number one to us. So if there's something you don't want to be shared, if you want to just like ask anonymously, just tell us. Yep. But I will always respect the boundary. Thank you, Lindsay. Yes. Sorry, that was such an awkward transition. I know. I just didn't know what to do. I'm like, we're running out of time. Yeah. No, you're good. I was thinking we should end it too. So basically, as you know, we had our interview with Lindsay. Again, thank you, MrsKickstand, so much for coming on the podcast. We genuinely appreciated and loved having you. I'm sure you were just a delight. But like I said, we are filming this before. So we're not 100% sure. But I'm sure. But all of her socials and stuff will be down below as well if you want to go give her a follow. Which if you want to keep up with the Duggdashians and all that stuff. I love the Duggdashians. So, but we're gonna get off here and probably film at least one more podcast episode. Maybe we might bust out too. I don't know. We'll see how we feel. We get wild. But hope you have a fantastic week, and we will catch you next week with a new episode. Yeah. Probably be in the same outfits. Yeah. So don't judge us. If you have nothing nice, don't say nothing at all. Not my circus, not my monkeys. Bye. I can just get money.